Alright, hello, and welcome back to our little Belgium game. It's kind of a semi-tall Belgium, although we've really gotta get this into an African subject later with the Congo. I haven't quite gotten around to it yet because of that prior fear that if I do it, they have to do the colonization, and as we've seen with our East Africa subject here, they are not exactly doing the whole colonizing thing very well. With such fears there, we're going to kind of try to take most of Africa here. Obviously, the British are taking a good deal of it too, and we're paying them to have investment rights in them, and I don't want to lose that, so that's not going to go anywhere. Beyond that, we are going to actually kind of do a few things. The two canal zones we have are going to get just a bunch of construction sectors. I do want that. We are also going to make the Dutch East Indies maybe into a colony. I think that makes all of their subjects our subjects, though, and I don't know how well I want to do that. But I noticed they're allowing the Japanese shogunate to invest into them, which I suppose isn't that problematic in the long run. So I guess we could leave it alone for now. We actually own a fifth of all Japanese GDP. Speaking of owning GDP, we only own 2.6% in the Chinese country here. I was going to say Heavenly Kingdom, but it's basically China at this point. The funny thing, actually, is the trade centers that we've built up, because they're on isolationism, and are apparently going to have a new revolt soon, so that'll be fun to put down. We're basically generating about 2,000 merchant marine demand in their market, and it's being imported primarily from the British, who apparently just have too many and are selling them all. We also can upgrade our transportation infrastructure too to give those ports more throughput, which is good because they are actually producing. They're all the way up here now. Sorry, it's the shipyards. Oh, I guess, yeah, no, it's not the shipyards that it would affect. It is the ports, because that's where the merchant marines are made. So I have to remind myself that those buildings technically got split. Now, we're not initialized yet, so let me head to the next week, because that is going to actually get everything to be where it should be, including the throughput bonuses for various buildings. Because now there's getting the plus 20 for transportation infrastructure. Because I actually want to get more of these Swift Merchant Marines. They are actually boosting our trade center capacity because when put in, they are counting as a prestige good for throughput. But we still have regular Merchant Marines we're importing, and since we're on free trade, I can't really stop those from being imported as long as the price is good enough. We also need to try to import more grain, but a lot of our... Oop, the game didn't like that. A lot of our grain imports are already overseas at 13K. This is where most of it comes from, is from China, which I believe can export more. And it's just a matter of the trade capacity getting used. Let's actually see here. Is it going up at all? It is. Okay, so it's probably going to export more as time goes on. Our own capacity is not too far behind. I do know Gelre has been building up a lot of tool workshops. Where we last left off, we started subsidizing everything to see if that would alleviate the issue of a bunch of unemployed people being here, even though they have the expertise to work. Not quite certain what the game's doing there, but evidently it's being a bit of a problem. I couldn't tell you why it's doing it, because I actually don't know why it's doing it. I just know it's doing it and I don't like it. Okay, is that stable? We're at least able to reduce our logging, our reliance on imports on wood. We still have to import it like everything else. We are kind of playing tall here. In fact, strangely enough, most of it is coming from Scandinavia, of all countries. Well, I guess that actually makes some sense if you consider all the wood they do have there. In fact, do we have... We do have investment rights there. Very nice. I was going to actually build up a lot of trade centers in Russia to force them to export more of their grain, but unfortunately, they seem to have revoked our right of investment and became rather antagonistic towards us. So that's not happening. Instead, maybe we just invest in more into the Heavenly Kingdom here. Technically, that's going to cause them some issues, but I give them the 100 rice farms and they can't say anything about it, so we're just going to let it happen. That's Sinai can't build the last two? Oh, did Egypt build two in the Sinai? They did, okay. So we can't build up those. But we did get all the ones in the in Panama City. Not that there's enough people there right now, but they'll migrate. I don't think Actually, yeah, no, the Sinai area is getting more pops into it, so they'll probably just migrate here and start working the building. It's the only way to get more construction right now because we've already maxed out the construction sectors at home. So our construction is actually reaching a theoretical limit here, so much so that I might divert our technology to... Well, see, elevators is already spreading to us, so I kind of want to finish mechanized farming so what little farm industry we have can actually be better and also maybe further expanded because there's actually not a lot of meat to import. What does Transportation 3 give us? Joint railways, 10 economy of scale. Yeah, may as well. Then it's going to switch all of our railroads back to experimental. We have to switch them back to steam, but now it's joint. And all that does, it's kind of like the one that benefits your groceries. It's going to have a bit of a better input to output ratio. Well, I think for this one, the input ratio goes up the exact same. Yeah, it does go up the exact same, but you don't have to hire more people for it. And you get more infrastructure out of it, which people very, very much like, I'm told. If I absolutely have to, I will raise taxes, but one thing I definitely want to do actually is switch us to graduated, because there's a lot of money to be made there now that the companies are really getting into the swing of overseas development. If we can ever find a person who would support that, which we probably can't at this point. The bourgeoisie control a lot of the country, and they're not interested in paying graduated taxes, you see, so that may be a lost cause before it starts. The good news is people are still migrating here faster than we can employ them. That's not actually good news, but it's funny. Once we've colonized most of Africa here, we'll probably... Actually, speaking of which, we do need to give the Dutch East Indies the rest of this stuff down here. So now they control that instead of us. Which did drop our population by almost 2 million, but it is what it is. So if they get a claim on Botswana, I can't colonize any further. I'm just gonna say no. Oh, we both got the same event? That's funny. Oh, I can just get a claim guaranteed then, which should not matter, I don't think, because I think they've already colonized most of it, haven't they? Actually, they probably have a claim to it, don't they? Oh no, this is Botswana. Let's just do it and let's just see. I think they can still colonize though. That might be the upcoming update with the interest group stuff they showed. Yeah. Yeah, they can still colonize it anyway. Okay, well, we'll just be mean about it. The Philippines. Oh yeah, I forgot we had investments with the Philippines, didn't we? Thankfully this revolt did not affect Suzhou, so it has not in any way disrupted our trade with China, which is very good because that was one of my biggest concerns, having the trade interrupted or just completely destroyed. Which would also collapse both their market and hurt our market a little, so it would be funny to watch for a time until everyone starts starving to death, but oh well. It's actually expanding on its own, too. I'm not even doing this. So, who is the Conservative parties who they're in? Look, it's whatever party they're in is the party we support for the bourgeoisie. That's how we did it last time we played a week ago. That's how we're doing it now. We can also quietly help China industrialize. Well, air quotes industrialize. It's more like forcing a bunch of their people into farmland to feed our people. But not owning it directly. I'm also very surprised that Hinduistan kind of just took all of the East India Company during the revolt. I'm actually kind of curious how that went down. We didn't really see it until it was too late. Afghanistan also formed, which is somewhat interesting. I've been seeing Afghanistan form sometimes, and then sometimes it doesn't. It's very hit or miss whether or not it appears. 10 weeks. Trying to make sure we only start building it when it's going to be ready. We may need to give it an extra week beyond that for a buffer. I mean, half of these are overseas investments now. What are you investing in? The Dutch East? Oh, I'm sorry. That Dutch East Africa. Okay, that flag threw me off so hard I had no idea who you're investing into. I was very confused. I'm glad it was just one of our subjects and not something weird. Because for a time I thought it was... something completely different. Yeah, I don't mind if these are bought up. They're in a foreign country. Hindustani as well. We're just getting mass migrations from India now. No complaints here about that. It's just neat. Oh, Darfur's made a mess of this. And if Egypt goes to war with us, we could just... Egypt is a great power. How many great powers are in this game? Not counting the Heavenly Kingdom, because they're unrecognized, there are 10 great powers, with Japan and Brazil having the potential to become great powers as well. And none of the great powers are Prussia. Or the Ottomans, actually. The Ottomans, they're unrecognized. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they've completely broken down over there. Which sucks for them. Doesn't suck for us, though. So let's actually grant you... Oh, right. Yeah, technically we're in a diplomatic play right now, so I can't grant them any land. I was going to give them the Equatoria region we had just taken. Speaking of which, let's just see if they'll give that to us. I don't think they will, though. A plan to enact mass conscription. Look, I know there's an uprising in Africa, but I don't think it calls for just conscripting the masses. We're not that desperate. We're not losing the war that badly. Come on now. Oh, the Ottomans might join too. They also might not. We'll see. I mean, if Egypt joins, we'll probably take the rest of the Sinai from them. Just because we can. Who else are we gone to war with? I honestly don't know. Oh, literally the people we're going to... Right. Yeah, okay, never mind. For some reason, I thought we were still waiting on that one. How many migrations are we going to get from India now? This is a lot of people. First Bengali pops just showed up. Yeah, tens of thousands. We're obviously going into high unemployment as well as they continually filter in, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And yet the urban centers still cannot hire people. Oh! This is a very late Krakatoa. This is a very late Krakatoa. I usually don't get it, well, having the Dutch East Indies as a subject, actually. 20% of pops in the Dutch East Indies become more loyalist. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, let's... You know what? Let's do that. Stabilize the subject. Not that we need to. We can always pacify it with guns, but, you know. Oh, Darfur did give it up in the end. That's good. That's good. We are still... Okay, where exactly is this problem? Why can I grant state? They are in a diplomatic play with... Is this even one of your neighbors? No, you're not even bordering them. How did this start? I swear, colonies make up the most funniest things in the background when you're not paying attention. Oh yeah, we did technically get the first stage of revolution, didn't we? I actually forgot about that. Do we have access? I see we have the journal entry. Do we have access to opium as a, that's British Senegal, so not directly. Not there, at least. Somewhere we do. Just domestically. Oh, yeah. Okay, technically we do, yeah. Because of the treaty port in the Ottomans. I actually forgot we had a treaty port in the Ottomans since it's been a week. That's good to know. And look at that. 1.5 million people in China are no longer peasants. They now actually have to work for a living and will buy more products. This is also, we can sell more groceries to them and then realize that the trade center doesn't make money because I have to subsidize it the whole time. But that's okay. Look, they're exporting almost 14,000 grain now. Who do you think is importing all of that grain? It is definitely us. In fact, if we go here... Zanzibar. I mean, I know that's our subject, but it's a little weird for our subject to have that, don't you think? Import, export, import. Yeah, we can build that up. Get trade with Japan going. And then this actually overbuilt the trade center. I'm hoping we can get all the way to the 1920s. I'd love to get to the 1930s and just finish it off in one go, but you know, we have to moderate our expectations as the game gets slower from performance. Rarely does it have the best of times with that. How is Holland for... Oh, there's almost nothing it wants to do. Okay, that's fair. Is Friesland's railway okay? Yeah, okay, it's fine. I was noticing it fluctuating back and forth, so I started to grow a little concerned that it wasn't all there. Like it was having an issue. We can do combustion engines. And we did, as you may have noticed, we did get the technology for the automotive industries. We are actually going to go and just build them everywhere. Just why not? We'll build 5 everywhere, and then we'll start selling them overseas. And watch as the rail industry collapses in real time. So then we'll have to use automation to buoy it as everyone gets unemployed anyway. It's a master plan. Nothing could go wrong. I can't imagine any issues arising from this at all. None whatsoever. What could possibly go wrong? Other than the fact that the livestock ranches can't hire people, apparently. I won't pretend to know what it's thinking. $13 weeks. And then we could probably sell these cars everywhere. Oh, Civil War. Now, do we have... if we're not building anything, technically the investment pool couldn't use this, but I'm going to build them anyway for the demand. And we could also probably make it work. Let's get political agitation next to the authority into antibiotics, probably. Or, I love compression ignition. It doesn't help us as much here due to the lack of land we have. There's plastic. But it would still be a nice tech to grab. For the few mines that we do have in Wallonia. It'll at least make them more productive, nothing else. Do we have... We only have regulatory bodies, right? Is this Venezuela? This is Ecuador. I knew it was one of these two. I couldn't remember which one. Not off the top of my head, at least. See, that looks like a much nicer border now. Speaking of borders, as soon as we're no longer entrapped in anything. I have the Dutch East Indy marked by accident. I actually don't need it marked there. We don't need to watch it there, right, guys? We'll be fine. I'm actually not that worried about going into debt at the moment either, since we're running on low taxes. It would not be hard to raise it at all. We do have the slight issue, though, of a certain someone forgot that they had not built any rubber plantations up to this point. That was supposed to be up to the colonies, and, well, you know, we never really got around to fully legalizing the colonies. Benin is cooperative. So cooperative, in fact, they might agree to be a subject. I love the French Senegal and French Nigeria right out of the French Republic. It's actually kind of nice little borders the French have up there, which is rare. Except then I noticed the French Senegal down here, and now I'm sad again. Oh, well. It just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to last. So why can I not conquer you? Are you... You're a protectorate of Dutch East Africa. Okay, alright, fair enough then. Let's grant you Equatoria. Just because I feel like Equatoria, it's not really given to any of the subjects, so I just wanted to grant it to one of them. Just because. Not that they're going to incorporate it or anything, it's going to probably stay unincorporated the whole time. Kind of like how some of the area down here is unincorporated, because I noticed they never... Oh, it would lead to a deficit for them. They're actually in a deficit right now. Fair enough. You know, yeah, that's fair. If they're not colonizing or incorporating because they're already in a bureaucratic deficit, that actually makes a lot of sense. So, never mind. It's actually making a decision it should reasonably make. I apologize for how the borders in the south look, but we have to beat the British at their own game. Somehow, in some way. Oh, yeah, the dev diary with the Great Waves DLC. They had mentioned the Great Waves was Japan content, but now we've actually gotten to see the Japan content, which should be very fun. I like that you can take a path to maintain the shogunate and reform it instead of just throwing it out a window. But that being said, whenever we play Japan for the update, we will probably be throwing the shogunate out a window. What is going on in India? What are they invading for? Conquest, of course. They're on their little Napoleon arc again, I guess. I know we just had the elections and I didn't change the political system at all, but okay, never mind. The bourgeoisie have too much power. I forget exactly when the shogunate falls, but I know it's... I want to say it's around the 1860s? It has been a long while since I have gone over those details. Oh, 1894. I was going to say, oh. And the United Netherlands gains antibiotic research? I never realized that strange superstition could give you research in antibiotics if you had access to it. I actually had no idea. That's awesome. The U.S. is invading Canada, by the way. No, that's not in real life. That's just in the game at the moment. So yes, remember the U.S. just lost the South to the Confederate revolt, including Maryland, so D.C. is now surrounded. The U.S. has decided that in order to turn its fortunes around, it is going to take Canada. I mean, we could actually do a run where we don't throw the shogunate out a window, now that I think about it, because everyone might go down the path of just tossing it out window number 15 for the umpteenth time. We will see. I would kind of like to look at the start situation before going forward. But we will do one or the other. I'm just not certain as to which. I just know that we will play Japan. I just don't know what our Japan will look like. The last time I played Japan, it went pretty well about a month ago. I didn't really invade Korea, but I had a whole nice economic system going. Yeah, the Be Prepared achievement. I didn't really note it there because I actually have almost all the achievements in the game. Not almost all the achievements in the game. I have a fair number of achievements in the game. I was thinking of Frostpunk 2 where I have almost all of them. I do have Honor and Life for Circassia, though. I haven't really played Afghanistan, so I haven't had a chance to get Afghanistan's achievement. Circassia's isn't too difficult if you can get the Ottomans or the British to back you, but you also get massive morale loss bonuses while playing as Circassia before you finish the journal entry, which is also nice. Oh, did they just... Oh, yeah, they just surrendered to us. That's funny. I literally forgot we were going to war. I'm sorry. These little incursions in Africa are so unnotable that I just don't see them. Ah, so close. Austria is antagonistic. We don't have an interest in Poland. Well, now we do. The French are wary. We actually improve relations with the French. We will do that. The Greeks, I guess. Why not? And of course the Confederacy, because why not? We have gotten over 300 million GDP, but if you look at our information page, we also own 135 million GDP in overseas countries, which is very spread out. It is all over the place. We are kind of causing additional turmoil in China by causing... I was going to say by causing all this unemployment, but I just realized the rice farms shouldn't be causing unemployment, except everyone got fired from it, so... there's nothing I can do there, man. Everyone got fired. That's kind of on them to solve. These numbers are good. What is our trade like? Because we're very focused on the trade game for this. And I think our automobiles are doing fine. Let's actually... We got political agitation. There is the feminist... No, it is called the feminist movement. I don't know why I was going to call it the civil rights movement. It is the feminist movement. So we built 5 automotive industries in each area, and they chose Friesland, which has the oil, so I guess that makes sense, as the place to build up more. We should form the Congo colony soon. I'm just trying to colonize everything down here first, because as we noted with the formation of Dutch East Africa, once they started doing the colonizing instead of us, they were way slower at it. It was taking them a lot longer to get it done. So we're kind of just holding on to it until we've pretty much colonized the area, and then we can establish a reasonable administration. Oh, the bourgeoisie are led by the feminist. That makes this easy. Yeah, no, that makes this super easy to pass. Not that we'll ever reach our workforce ratio. Oh, I didn't do our technology, did I? We didn't need it. It's okay. It's fine. Anyway, we'll never reach our workforce ratio maximum because these pop groups are going to constantly be getting new pops from assimilation into it. So the ratio is never going to quite get there. Which actually makes me wonder if we should do a different run in the future where we don't really allow migration, but you'd have to play a big nation that doesn't need the migration for pops. Like, Belgium kind of needs it, so we need to have people coming over. I could see playing as, like, China or Russia, you could get away with it, because you already have so many pops, you don't know what to do with half of them. Also India, but India has its own issues there, separate from the regular issues. Do we need to build more shipyards? I mean, they're already not profitable. Yeah, no, I would probably not. Nassau backs down. Well, I'm not too surprised there. Borneo is our protectorate. Oh, Sokoto must have made them a protectorate before we invaded, and then, yeah, so now they're just ours. I swear this is a tall playthrough, guys. All these invasions are important. They're not. I'm bluffing. There's the other two in a new order, which I do have before. Oh, our place in the sun. Plus 100 prestige. I have actually not finished that in quite some time. There's four parties now. Okay. So they have now joined up with the Radical Party, and we're doing this to not lose the electoral clientism, otherwise it'll just vanish. Tall TM playthrough, basically. The Orange Free State. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, I'm sorry, what did I... Wait, what's going on? Leopold, what are you doing? What's happening? Wait, this is... I didn't even know about this journal entry. What is this? Okay. Okay, I see. This is a very weird, quote-unquote, free state run by Emperor Leopold, I guess. Which I think is historical for what actually happened, but you just never see it because who's colonizing down here before the British do, usually. I don't... Oh, okay, yeah, we're both committed to diplomatic plays. That's fine. Oh, yes, kill the reactionary movement. Let it die. Yeah, so, short little note. The Orange Free State, let's just say everyone there is going to suffer. Let's just say Leopold was not exactly known for doing good things in Africa. Calling us as part of their ally and ongoing development. Wait, what? I mean, I have an army, but I don't have that big of an army. Did you start this war? No. Oh, God. So we either have to pick with our investments in France or pick our investments in Scandinavia. And I kind of want both. Oh, but we own like 38% of the GDP in Scandinavia, which is funny. And I just hit escape, which broke it. God damn it. Well, I guess the misclick decides it for us. So never mind. We get to try to keep both worlds. In fact, the British have now joined on their side anyway. The Wargle of Conquer the Congo. I'll see, that is kind of tempting. But it seems funnier to just stay here and watch the world burn. While we kind of try to profit off of every angle possible. That reminds me, do we have a pro-Belgium group in the kingdom? We do not. So let's just start spending money for no reason. Because if you remember, we formed a French-Dutch union in France. I really hope they fix that in the next patch. I forgot about that. And a pro-Belgium lobby in Britain. Sorry about that noise. I really hope they fix that in the next patch, where it's making all the same noise or repeat constantly like that. It only happens the first time per country, but it still doesn't make it any less annoying. It is still very... Oh, the Ashanti joined. I didn't even notice. I could have double annexed. I was too distracted by the war in Europe Oh, yeah, no, I've actually not seen this. We cannot go against the rule of the emperor. This is a massacre the world must know. International condemnation, the Free State will greatly increase. I actually don't know what path we want to do here for this. I mean, it is technically a massacre, is it not? Is this really just called the Orange Free State? That's funny. Ah, it's not funny for those living there. Oh, yeah, 4% population growth reduction? That's terrible. Oh, I seen that boosts the, little progress bar there. Which I assume it's basically either this gets to full, we end the monarchy, or he gets kicked out. Or, I guess, dies of old age would also be a valid completion point. So, this international war may be somewhat disruptive to global trade. But I do have it on good authority that nothing will go wrong. We are going to have to embargo Austria, though. I didn't want to, but, look, I'm being pressured by the Anti-Austrian Society, and they have 70% of the clout in the country. So, look, I don't want to die. That's all I have to say on the matter. We're actually going to go ahead and grant Sokoto, what is this, Dahomey. Actually, wait a minute. Can't we establish Nigeria here? We could. But it has to be another full state, which we don't have yet. I think Dahomey is a independent country. An unrecognized independent country, ripe for unification. Unification is the word I'll use. What is happening in Austria? I mean, yay, it's another communist revolt, but that's... Why must it be such a dark spot on the map? They seem to love their dark spots on maps, I'll tell you that. I see that way too often in these kinds of separatist revolts. The dark spot on the map is just their thing. They have to have it. So is it just like the wages are too low and they don't want to work here? I'm genuinely confused. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I mean, yeah, sure. That's why I'm not raising the welfare system any further. Oh, we actually never went to level 4 healthcare? Oops. Tell me you weren't paying attention without telling me. I must have been a bit tired while you're doing it at some point. Oh, Austria is now also suffering a minor positivist revolt. Oh, no, never mind. It was hidden from view. It's actually a bit bigger than that. I think it'll still put it down, though. Oh, if only they were willing to be our subject, that would be the best. It'd also look awful, but oh well. I've accidentally established the Congo. You know what? We're just gonna roll with it. I said we'd do it. We've done it. And I can still get some colonization going, so it's not at the end of the world. So we'll go ahead and just get it done. Yeah, no. So that has dropped the population down a couple million, but the standard of living actually goes up on average because now we're not accounting for the entire Congo of 5 million people. And they have all of our technologies, at least, and proportional taxation. Only women in the workplace because women's suffrage hasn't passed, but that's probably fine regardless. What companies do they establish? Mostly agricultural, you know, it's the usual. What are you suffering? National movements. I mean, do you want to move to cultural exclusion? I wouldn't mind if you moved to cultural exclusion. I know you're a colony and all that, but it's okay if you want to fix it a little. Spilled some ink, Austrian diplomat, it's just antichrists and positivists. Right? Right? Austria says, do not be alarmed. It's just a couple of revolts. They're going to deal with it. Austria has fallen from great power status, though. God darn it, Austria. Why? Actually, they've become a minor power due to this. Are they bankrupt? They are. Ah, we already have 18 infamy. Never mind. Don't mind me. I was just considering. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, some stuff. The world's kind of catching on fire right now, and it's not even the 1900s yet. Is the U.S. just gonna burn Canada to the ground, or? Oh no, I see. The British have so much fervor that they're just kind of refusing to end the war, so Canada just gets to burn to death. Cool. It's not my country, so I don't care, but I just don't feel like that's how you should be doing things over there. It just doesn't seem very sophisticated, as one might put it. So aside from the weird hiring shenanigans going on for a number of the buildings, we are doing pretty well. Pops keep arriving the second an unemployment spot opens up. I'm just very weirded out by this issue where it's not really hiring the unemployed pops as fast as I would expect it to. Oh, Prussia's going for unification. Oh, of course Prussia's going for unification. Austria just became a minor power, so there's no other German... There is no other German opponent now. I thought they had lost that right. I guess not. Oh, they're also going to war with Austria for unification, actually. This just got really interesting really fast. Huh. Austria collapses into several civil wars and bankruptcy, and suddenly Prussia's trying to unify by force against France, who is still at war with Scandinavia and Britain. I don't know if that's going to matter much, but that is ongoing. Oh yeah, we do have investments into the Confederacy. Sweet. And the U.S. has actually joined the war with France, which I guess makes some sense. Can we draft a separate second treaty? Guarantee their independence from the United States. That's not gonna upset someone. Sure, just because I find it funny. I don't think I could actually get them in. I don't think we can get enough there, but it's a funny idea to me, so we're gonna do it anyway. Because I can. Uzbek. From Russia. Deeds, not words, for giving women the right to vote. Still have anti-strike laws, though. There's not much else we can do. Oh my god, it's really just the bourgeoisie in power. And if you try to bring anyone else into power... Wait, I'm confused. So if I do this, it destroys the government's legitimacy due to extreme ideological incompatibility. But if I just do this, it doesn't destroy it. I am moderately confused, but I'm going to go with it. I don't know what the game was trying to tell us there. Anyway, I want to pass graduated taxation because that gives us a lot of money. And then we can just lower taxes and still get money. So we have a lot of investments we can do. And the bourgeoisie actually oppose it, so we might be able to give them rights on it anyway. It mostly kind of just shifts the tax burden onto the dividends, which is going to be the upper strata. Who are opulent, by the way. Like, they literally could not be given more money if they tried. And I just think it is the next best step for the people of Belgium. Bourgeoisie actually don't want to negotiate. Because they're too happy. They're actually too happy to negotiate. That's fair. Cause that a rebel. The feminist movement. Sure, go spread feminism to other countries of greatness. Oh, look, I don't know what line to fill this with. She's just going off to somewhere else. I guess we'll give the industrial vow to pass no workers' rights next. Yeah, they want us to roll it back. We'll just give them their political concessions. Anything else may not be the best. God, it's so hard to get control over here. Native uprising in Central Asia. More news? Never, because we're not watching that. But we don't want to do no workers' rights because we're kind of just using it for the dangerous worker conditions reduction because, look, our population's already going to grow slow to begin with, and it makes, it just makes reasonable sense to make sure your workers are still alive when you're trying to, give them a job and stuff and have them do tasks. Having them not be dead is usually pretty smart. We could actually switch over to using rubber and completely obliterate our wood imports, which is a funny thought because that's actually going to hurt our trade partners more than us. We would also flood the market. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to flood the market because why not? Please be prepared to watch as tool workshops completely fail temporarily. I say temporarily because in theory they should start doing better. It also means our little colonies in Africa should start doing a lot better because their rubber plantations are suddenly a lot more profitable than they were 5 minutes ago. Do you actually have one of the companies that does it? You do. Yes, you do. Excellent. Oh, yeah, right. Graduated taxation. So the rich will be taxed more in order to help the working class. But we're also going to get rid of your worker rights. There won't be any regulations. You'll pay less in taxes, but there will be like, wow, wait, is Prussia winning? I mean, I know the Austrian army can't really fight because it's under bankruptcy, so it's suffering minus 60% attack and defense. And I know France is probably... Oh, that's why. Because the Spanish and the Russians both joined on Prussia's side. That's why they're winning. So we may actually see a very late German formation instead of nothing at all. The upper strata decided to donate generously to the poor. That can't be right. That's not in the script. Thank you, because we were kind of failing the debates. There we go. Coal-fired power plant, because I know we're probably going to use more electricity. Technically, we're not using enough electricity right now. Are we using electric lights? Oh, we are now. Well, we weren't before. We may as well invent the telephone as well while we're at it. We have the electricity. We have the high concentration of positions as well. Still not using enough power. We could actually switch... Well, we can't use electric sewing machines yet. We haven't invented that. Actually... Maybe we do that and then telephones? Because we can export this, right? We're not even exporting it yet. Yeah, let's this into telephones then. No, I prefer having at least regulatory bodies in all my games. I mean, it can be fun to, like, play of, like, the haha, we don't have any workers' rights. But generally speaking, lowering mortality is a good thing. It's like the slavery run we did. I normally wouldn't do it because the increased mortality and less pops isn't a good thing. By the way, this is probably one of the first games where I have not done food standardization. I almost always do it for the mortality reduction, but this time we did not do it. Which I think is kind of neat. I'm very glad we still have the investment rights in Prussia, but they might break it after the war ends. We'll have to see. At least it means making an enemy out of Austria was no longer a negative. Not that we meant to make them an enemy, it's just disagreements. Russia being antagonistic does kind of suck. Maybe we can get... Wow, they must have... I don't know what happened to our relations, but apparently we're angry at each other. I couldn't even tell you what happened, because I don't really remember what happened. And that's probably why they're upset. It's probably one of the reasons why they're so upset. They have withdrawn... Oh, right. That treaty's been inactive for a very long time. We actually can start thinking about more trade now because of our exportation of tools, which is fun. Technically, I should be building them all in Holland, but we're going to build at least some of them in Flanders. Holland is just because it has the natural harbor, so it gets better capacity and all that. I never said these trades were going to be very profitable, just that we do lots of trading and exporting. But I wish they would be very profitable. The incoming tax revenue would be great for all the subsidies we're paying, especially to the food industries, because... I don't know, man. They work on thin margins. Grain's kind of expensive. Oh, that is a big Germany. It annexed basically all of Austria proper without annexing the rest of it. So it's like a pseudo super Germany. And it looks like, yeah, we just saw the dual monarchy form, but Hungary's probably going to break free at the rate that's going. Oh, I'm so tempted, but it would be too much of an issue on the map paint if we started taking European subjects. We're already pushing the envelope by oh, wait, tax research technology research speed for 5 years. Ooh. But we should really increase our success chance so it doesn't fail. Right, France is just dying now, but it's okay. We have a large German empire to invest into now, which is fantastic. We should get arc welding at some point. That would be very nice to have. Oh, we're doing this again. Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't want to get too involved, chat. You know, we're just really good traders. Wow, 150 productivity. This is the best trade center ever. I don't even know how it works. It just does. Of course, yeah, no, the relative advantage imports increasing it by a lot would do that, wouldn't it? Yeah. Speaking of which, oh, the tools into the Heavenly Kingdom, 102% because of the plus 200 from treaty ports is unreal. That does not feel fair at all. But then you have things like the opium where we're kind of the only trade. Wait, are we not the only traders? In the Ottoman market, covering two exports in the Ottoman market. Okay, yep, no, I get it. Is that because we're the only importer of grain? Yeah, it's because we're the only importer of grain. Kinda sucks we can't take more advantage of that. We could try to get more treaty ports in other countries, but we have to be very careful of how we do that. Oh, Canada has become a subject of the United States. With all the blood that entails. Rumors of foul treatment hang above the Free State like a bad odor. International journalists have threatened to release articles about its conditions. This poor little colony is just suffering for no reason. For no good reason. Maybe while all that's going on... No, that's owned by the French. That's just been invaded. I mean, I like our little colonies down here. Oh, wow. Dutch East Africa actually managed to puppet them both. Huh. Neat. I didn't think they'd be able to get anything done over there. I thought it was just going to be a forever war that eventually vanished into the background. But, no, they actually got it done. Kind of scary if you think about it. Trying to see what else I want to do here. I mean, I do want the electric sewing machines. I actually would like to make elastics, but I don't know if that would run well. Are we importing any luxury clothes? That's a good question. That's something we need to ask. We are importing some, actually, and we have access to rubber domestically, so why don't we just switch both over and we just see what the pricing ends up being? Because that's what, 40 less clothes, 40 more. Oh, so by basically using electric sewing machines and elastics, all I did was make it to where we're producing more luxury clothes. Oh yeah, we easily have railway. We don't have the electric railway, but we have railways. Although I guess it would help the logging camps. That is something to eventually look into. But it's not too high of a priority element. Are we exporting any luxury goods? I guess we're exporting fruit. Yeah, there's fruit. That's something we're exporting. Also, we've actually been importing like 12 coal. Why? See, this is what I don't get, is that we seem to be losing laborers in all kinds of buildings. And it's trying to hire capitalists and financial districts for them. And I'm not sure why this is happening, why we're constantly losing people while having several 100,000 unemployed job seekers. I feel like there's some kind of hire fire process going on in the background that I'm not seeing. It's happening in the urban centers too, and I don't understand why that's happening. Because the issue isn't that we don't have the railways to fix the infrastructure, it's that people keep leaving their jobs or getting fired from their jobs. And I'm not too certain as to why. So here's what I'm going to do. Even though we technically have a lot of unemployed pops, I'm just going to forcefully activate a bunch of automation. This probably won't fix it, but something is really going on here that's very weird. And I don't know what it is. If I did, I wouldn't be scratching my head over it. So, the only reason we're doing this is to see if it jolts it into fixing itself. Because, God, I hope it does. That will cause more unemployment. Several 100,000 more unemployed, actually. But hopefully, that will actually fix this issue. Why are we spending several 100,000 here? Ooh. I mean, I guess we did spike coal demand, didn't we? Yeah. We're going to have to raise taxes to medium and use, yeah. Go ahead and use the new graduated taxation to stabilize the budget while we fix this. My hope here is that this just forces a jolt shock and fixes whatever's going on. I don't think it will. Something weird is happening. But maybe by forcing an excessive amount of actually skilled unemployed, it will fix whatever problem is going on in the background, because I don't know what's happening. I have not had an issue like this in some time. Although I'm kind of glad I haven't had an issue like this in a while. No workers' rights won't fix this at all. Making it to where they don't have jobs might fix it, though, since they'll be forced to go find one. Maybe I should get rid of the peasants for good. Maybe that would help. In the capital, at least. We will probably have pops emigrate to our colonies now, which I'm actually fine with. Or they just won't migrate anywhere. That works, too. We actually are probably importing a lot of coal now. Yeah, we're importing 30,000 coal from the market. That's great. I love this. We're still going to build those coal mines, though, because it's domestic resources that we can take advantage of. And we have the oil company also runs it, so it's just good for the local company. The laborers might be zombies. Ah, you know, it happens. You know, sometimes they just come to work in a really poor mood, and you think they're zombies, but it's just a really bad mood. That's all it is. That's all it is. I wouldn't say it's anything else, right? What about Nantong? We should be in the list here. It's actually got almost nothing right now. I think it would need more domestic investment from us to increase demand. Although it is generating a good deal of grain that's exported. Bengalis. I mean, you're welcome to migrate here. There's too many unemployed, though. There's actually 2 million unemployed now. It's gotten even worse. Although the paper mills are no longer suffering as terribly, so there's that. We actually need more sulfur, which we never got around to properly developing. Funnily enough. How is it that even the oil rig is failing? That's actually impressive. It takes a lot to make an oil rig fail. In this timeline, at least. Our GDP has actually fallen a fair bit, too, and hasn't recovered yet. Thanks to everything that's just happening. And look, I couldn't even explain to you what's happening at this point, of why there's 2 million unemployed, but nothing is hiring. Because I actually have no idea. So I'm just switching the production methods to what mostly works. See, the steam donkeys might help. But we'll just switch to rail transportation right now, because we are technically killing it in a way. And if any of it gets too high in the homeland, we can switch that over easily. 20 legitimacy for 5 years. I will not say no to that, since we're not at the limit of our legitimacy. I'm just hoping that raising all of this will make the urban centers more profitable and it'll maintain more of the unemployed. But what I really don't understand is why I've got empty buildings. There's a chance that oh, wait, that's the wrong one. I mean, some of them are functioning. They're not really making a lot of... Wait. Is it just a wage issue? Is that what this is? Is this just one massive wage problem? I think this is just... You know what I think this is, Chad? I think this is just a massive wage issue, and we need to set a minimum wage with wage subsidies to fix it. I think that's just what this is that they don't want to work for the wage that's being offered, and they're choosing to maintain themselves on government assistance rather than work. I think that might be what this is that if they were to get a job and lose the welfare, if it pays enough, I think they actually end up becoming worse off, and they're outright refusing to work because of it. I don't know if that's true. I'm just guessing. Why is the Dutch East Indies being attacked? Oh, this kind of sucks, because we have to technically join to defend them. Except the French will probably murder us. Because I haven't grown the area. Because if we don't join, the Dutch East Indies will break free, because it is a dominion. We are expected to protect it. We did get trench infantry a while ago, though, so, yeah, who knows? We could just recruit, like, another 100 or so. We have the population, right? I don't want to join this and upset France, but I don't want to lose our colony, so, like, upsetting France it is. Because now we are the war leader. And the only good thing we have going for us, chat, is that France should be still recovering from the war that just happened. Obviously, they're going to withdraw from our alliance because whoop-de-doo. We're at war with each other now, effectively. We also can't actually get nations to join because they like us for different reasons. Nah, they wouldn't really join out of principle, though. So, do we even want to take anything from them, Chad? Technically, the Low Countries is Flemish homeland, so it would still be kind of a tall playthrough if we seized it. It is also 16% of their GDP and has a massive coal field, which is completely unrelated to reasons to conquer it. Yeah, I'm thinking we at least seize our homeland. Even though we're not going ethno-state, it's just, you know, yeah. Also, the French are trying to take Flanders from us, so I feel slighted. Can we... We don't have, like, a... Okay, so I have to target it directly. At least it will be cheaper because it is considered a homeland, which is reducing its factor, I believe. Or no, it is just the technology. That works, I guess. We could also take... French Niger, maybe? Well, I mean, not that it has any value, but, you know, whatever. Although the first thing we have to do is just dig in and defend ourselves, because they could just kill us, and that's it. Although, our organization isn't maxed out right now, so this is actually a fine thing. I don't really usually use the morale recovery options. I probably should. But I've never found them to be that useful. Maybe it's just me not using them. Maybe that's why they're not useful. Maybe I should have thought of that. But Bohemian Uprising, I'm sure the Germans will be fine. They can put that down. Let's, of course, mobilize the Navy and begin a blockade of northern France. Also, just keep in mind, we can raise a couple of conscripts. I don't want to rely on the conscripts too much, but we should probably raise some conscripts. Do we have the best production method available for our barracks? A good deal of them. We might actually, because we've gone into a war I wasn't planning on, just research wargaming real quick in case we're stuck in this for a while. But my hope here is that we should win fine. Oh yeah, they're still on skirmish infantry. Yeah. Yeah, this is fine. In fact, I have accidentally begun to attack them as well. Accidentally begun to attack them. Yes. That's how attacking works. You do it accidentally. We probably could have taken more, but we're trying to, you know... Oh, I could have done a treaty port! I just thought about that. I could have done a French treaty port. Ah. Oh, well. At least we can teach the French a lesson for what happens when you attack our colonies, or try to, at least. Yeah, 50%. We're winning this easily. I don't even need to do the research I'm doing, but we'll do it anyway. Can I negotiate with the industrialists? Oh, pragmatic negotiations. Yeah, why not? Here, we'll give them concessions to make them more interested. At least less disinterested. It sucks, too, because we have, like, that pro lobby with them and everything. If it's still there. It is still there, so they're actually... Those interest groups are actually upset with the government right now. Or at least less pleased with it. The moving picture. Yeah, I'll take mass propaganda. Why not? And we should be blockading them pretty effectively on the northern coastline. I don't know if that's where their main trade operates. But it is going to hurt them. A nihilist. Freedom to starve. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's just all... It's in Africa. It's fine. Look, not every stream can be a war crime-induced issue. Sometimes you just gotta play nicer. Oh, right. We did swear to defend them here, didn't we? You're a major power, are you not? Yes. What are you trying to take? Nationalize all Confederate buildings. Return Arizona. I mean, we're kind of in an existential threat against France right now. Well, we're kind of winning it, actually. So what about... Oh, we can make them... We can make them give us Canada. I do want the treaty port. But... Do we want the treaty port in the U.S.? Or do we want Canada? I mean, Canada did kind of get slaughtered in the war, didn't they? It's only half the U.S. Oh, but they have, like, millions of pops, don't they? 43 million. Yeah. I guess treaty port in New York. Take Brooklyn. Oh, have they gotten the Statue of Liberty yet? No. Okay. So, maybe we can steal the Statue of Liberty then. Treaty port... New York. Put that on there. They have agreed. And we will send the military over. We'll send half the military over. The other half kind of needs to finish this war. The good news about having all these unemployed pops is that you literally could just give them a rifle and point them in a direction. Preferably towards enemy. In fact, because we can't have too many, let's just build up another army. There we go. There you are. I was wondering where the bourgeoisie was. There we go. And then we are going to increase Social Security as well. And just deal with it. Oh, you know what? DC is surrounded, isn't it? Yeah, we could easily reach it. Oh, that's so silly. I love it. So we'll get our treaty port in the USA. Oh, they're gonna liberate... No! So the Confederacy is messing us up, chat. We're going to try to get the treaty port in Brooklyn, but the Confederacy is gonna liberate New York, so the treaty port will probably just invalidate. And we'll just have a weird, like, enclave in North America. Yeah, so the AI is kind of ruining us for helping them. In a way. So, I don't know if that's going to fix the higher fire issue, but it might fix the subsidies issue that we're constantly doing. Let's see. It's going to take time for them to raise their wages anyway, so it may take a while to have its knock-on effect. Because, yeah, our government wages aren't even at 7, and they're barely creeping up towards 7 with the new law. And they're even going down in some cases as people get fired again. Speaking of which, we do have a slight growing tax issue. Oh man, these wars and unemployment have really harmed the economy. Oh well. Is this not your capital? It is your capital. I don't really need to humiliate you, I just want to take the lowland. Well, while this is becoming a slightly less tall playthrough, this is at least a good 2-part stream footage of how to play as Belgium and beat up great powers. And be a great power yourself. Which I do think is still very valuable. And also get way too many mass migrations, I guess. So we are going to, of course, do greener grasses here as well, because it is a homeland state. Of the Flemish, mind you, but that's close enough. There we go. It is almost entirely owned by a foreign company. We could nationalize it for... We should probably nationalize it so our own can use it, huh? 10 million. Sure. Nationalize the the coal mine. That way our company can buy it all. It's all nationalized just so our company can own it. The railway I'm actually fine with being owned by a foreign company, though. Probably. We'll see. The Japanese are stopping another revolt, just because it was mentioned about maybe getting a treaty port in them. We technically already have investment rights with them. I don't think they'd even agree to a treaty port, would they? They're currently in a bit of a war right now, so I don't know if they'd agree at all. How much money can they take? I love how the number goes down as I give them more. Like they don't you know, they want money, but they don't want that much. Because it actually fixes their budget deficit too much to where it doesn't matter as much. I actually don't know if we'll get treaty ports in Japan, mostly because I don't know if you've noticed, but Japan keeps lighting itself on fire every 5 minutes. So it's actually hard to say whether a treaty port would stay. Technically, the Heavenly Kingdom has this revolt too. This revolt issue as well. It's just a little less prevalent. They're still banning opium, by the way. Which is funny, because I'm pretty sure we're force importing opium to them through the treaty port. Yeah, but almost not that much. I don't think they have an obsession with it anymore. Yeah, they don't. Oh! They're migrating to the Orange Free State, you say? Oh, someone certainly is. Oh, the Han did migrate here. Weird. I don't know if they want to stay, though. It's kind of violent down there, you say. It's not exactly what I would call a good vacation spot. Still lots of unemployed, but that really could just be Pops coming in the second spot's open. They're supporting separatism now. That's cute. God, they're asking for migration controls now. I guess we can do migration controls. We have multiculturalism. So migration controls are actually, they don't mean anything. It's just a freebie law for approval. Tariff exemptions. Minus 10% maximum tariffs on imports. Wait, but we're on free trade. We don't have imports. So what would this do? That's weird because we technically don't have trade, and now I have to, like, see what this is. I have to, like, pass it even though it could break something just to see what it does. Yeah, they probably didn't choose the best vacation spot, the Han Pops, but that's okay. That's not our problem. What you should instead focus on is the fact that our GDP is soaring in part because we annexed a piece of France. And now we're building 64 railways there, apparently. Look, I don't make up the rules. They're just building it there. Actually, wait, yeah, we own this territory. We could actually build up the construction sectors here. Even though they're not fully hired right now. Like everywhere else. Although this actually wouldn't even have the minimum wage right now anyway, so that makes some sense. 90,000 unrealized taxes. How much of that is just us not having enough tax infrastructure? Oh, right, the French Low Countries can't have any. I mean, it's not even incorporated. We can't get tax from it regardless. I don't think the minus 10% maximum tariff will do anything, right? Or would it cause a weird effect on the game? I don't know. We're going to find out. Once it eventually passes, we'll find out. We'll see. Oh, yeah, we also own all the ports here, I guess. So that's pretty cool. I love how I can't monopolize the three... Oh, I guess they would just buy it from the financial districts because those aren't companies, yeah. Never mind. Our trade capacity is at 30,000 now and climbing. We actually have quite a bit of excess to that. Hopefully we can use it later. So, minus 10% maximum tariffs on imports. I assume that just does nothing because we can't do anything relative to that right now. Wait, so if we somehow could do tariffs, chat, we can't because we're on free trade. But if we somehow could do tariffs, we'd actually lose money of the tariffs. But obviously, if you wanted to encourage the importations, you just use the subventions. That's kind of how that works. Which we could... Are we subventioning grain? That's actually a fantastic question. I can't recall. Who is importing the grain the most here? We are doing a low level of subventions. We could do more if we're willing to recoup costs from elsewhere, which we probably can. We could try, though. Well, that and we have an ongoing war, which is probably not very profitable right now. Oh, right, the Netherlands technically exists as our puppet state. I totally forgot about that. How adorable. So America loses this war, and it's gonna shatter them. The Confederacy gets to reign over its little spot. And we're gonna go bribe people there, I guess. I don't know. I have noticed the game does not seem to be telling me where I am doing these little diplomatic pack investments. I know I'm doing them, I just couldn't help but notice it wasn't telling me. We have managed to form the Taiping Dutch Association in the Heavenly Kingdom. It's not made up of their biggest hitters, but it exists. So, you know, our money is increasingly bribing people into backing our interests, which I find to be just delightful. We are still spending a lot of money, though, but... Free state question... Oh, I see. So, now that it's... Because of how it's ended with the international atrocities, we can make it a free state. Or... annex it. So, we can just re-annex it. Expand the Congo colony, then I guess that's just there. Because we don't have enough to form the Southern Africa colony. Interesting little journal entry that refers to history. Because it is effectively a reference to history. But yeah, I couldn't explain why the trade unions like us. Maybe they're happy to have jobs. That could just be it. They like having jobs, and we give them jobs. So, they're happy. Oh yeah, so good news is that we can build the Statue of Liberty. Which we are now going to do. The sad news is that... Is this still a treaty port? Oh, it's a treaty port for the Dutch market. Oh, hang on, chat. I need to just do a quick save and reload. So, the good news is that it didn't liberate all of New York. Just the northern half of New York. We still get our treaty port in the US, but I have to reload and make the game check. You can't really bourgeoisize the colonies. It's more like the landowners and the industrialists will represent you there to some extent. You can get some there, it's just they're not going to be as friendly. Michigan just independent over there on its own. So this should now be a treaty port in the United States. Yes, it is. Okay, fantastic. Just build it up to level 10 for now. Oh, so it's the modernization movement that's going to revolt now. Fantastic. Why are you all on fire? You have 32 million unemployed. Well, that would do it. You know they say about idle hands and all that. Suppose that means they're not the best investment for future coal industries. We do not have a treaty. Oh, did they end our investment rights treaty? I guess they disliked it that much. We could probably... It's probably because of their new position that they're renegotiating many of their treaties. Can I make this 50 years? No. I can get investment rights in them at least, but any monopolies... I've noticed it's very difficult to get a monopoly, especially in a great power. In smaller powers, not as much, but then there's usually not much to get out of them. So it's kind of up to you if it's worth it. Right, great power, so it's just minus 1,000. I think we'll just go with this. We'll just get investment rights into Germany again. And now we can buy up all their stuff and use it to our advantage. Okay, maybe not British Guiana. That's 105 weeks. We're not building up for 105 weeks. I'm not doing that. We will do the Statue of Liberty build-up time, though, because it's the Statue of Liberty. Come on. I notice our subsidies are only getting worse as time passes. For all of them. Oh, there's been a coup in Russia? Admiral Anton Golovin has successfully orchestrated a coup against the sitting government of Russia. Is he the new czar? He is Regent Vladimir Drogomanov. Pavel Romanov. Oh, I see. So the Romanov that was sitting in power got thrown out, and some new guy's in charge. For a limited time. Oh god, that is so much railway. Which is neat, but it's so much railway. It says its productivity is 15, but it's making over 106 weekly balance at least. How is trade doing? Still open up on capacity, so we either need to help it export or make better imports. What if we start crashing the market for luxury goods? Technically, we could export groceries, but that would probably just start starving the masses, which... I don't know if you haven't noticed, but that usually doesn't end well for the most part. Or so I've heard. You know what? We could switch to automobiles for the urban buildings. We already make a bunch of them. We can easily make more. It's not like it's hard for us. Technically, it'll mean less employment. It also hurts transportation, but... it's transportation. It was going to go down at some point regardless. Maybe we build some more automotive industries here and there. Nicaragua is no longer a member. Well, Nicaragua, we will remember that. You better not be existing anymore. Kidding. Oh, I see. They did they get subjugated by the US? Yeah. That would explain a fair bit. The Taiping... Oh, my goodness. That is a bit of a revolt now, isn't it? I mean, we're going to help them, obviously. I just wanted to see what we could have gotten out of it. But we're obviously going to send over everything we can to make sure our treaty port isn't destroyed. But that is a bit of a revolt there. It is going to put us into debt for a while, but that's kind of what happens when you mobilize the army. And also have 1 million in subsidies because your trade just collapsed. Yeah, that's the problem here, is that our entire trade situation just collapsed on us thanks to that revolt. It's like the downside of doing all this trade with treaty ports. You kind of become invested in their stability. And this is one of those reasons why. Nothing more rare than a functioning treaty port, pretty much. The good news is that we're going to restore functionality. Why are you heading all the way to the outskirts of Tibet? I hate you. Who's leading this army? One of you is being executed for this. They think they're being smart, but they're just delaying. I should have sent them to the treaty port, I guess. Thankfully, our army might have... Oh, no, I think they arrived too late to join the battle, so it gets occupied. Yeah. Unfortunately, our army arrives too late to join the battle. Which sucks, but oh well. There's no need for a treaty port in Korea, because Korea is a puppet subject of the Heavenly Kingdom, so they're in the same market. A treaty port there would do nothing. It would have no effect on the game. Russian mass migration to Flanders. How are the laws in Russia, anyway? I'm very curious. Commercialized agriculture, interventionism. Oh, the beautiful works. They still hate us, though. But, you know, oh well. It could be funny, but the problem is that we'd have to go to war against the Heavenly Kingdom to get the treaty port. So it's just like, it's not really worth it. It's kind of irrelevant. It's just lead an assault there. Are you not? Yeah, they're fine. They won't lose the war. It's fine. We can ignore it now. We don't have to pay any attention to it. Venezuela is being invaded by Spain, though, so there's that. Ooh, 328 productivity in a treaty port in Brooklyn. Look at those numbers. 198% relative advantage. That's silly. You're such a silly game. Those numbers are definitely not accurate. Wait. The relative advantage is so high, it's making the grain get exported as if it's the most expensive thing in the world. Yes, Hinduistan is recognized because they came over from the EIC's tag, so they are a great power. Also, Russia has an uprising going on in the Far East. I don't expect it to win, but yeah, that's on fire now. So, have fun with that. Because I assure you, we are not coming over to help. In any way, shape, or form. But don't worry, we'll have a Statue of Liberty ready for you. Yes, it is a treaty port in the United States because we just helped the Confederacy in a war. And yes, the United States has Canada as a subject. Oh, we're actually doing this. We're actually doing a regional conflict in Europe while Russia has a revolt going on in the Far East. Okay. Yeah, sure. All right, why not? Spin the wheel while you're at it, and we'll see what collapses first. Oh, that's so funny. This should... Oh, God, what do we do? What do we do? We could start cutting some subsidies, but honestly, it should stabilize once... I really hope this stabilizes the Heavenly Kingdom for at least a decade. We can't keep doing this every 5 minutes. We can't help the Russians because they hate us. Technically, we could, but we don't have an interest in the uprising. And again, they're very antagonistic towards us. But that being said, we really should establish some additional interests throughout the world, and so we shall. The Heavenly Kingdom does very much like us, though, which is nice. I don't think they'd agree to a power block embassy since they're isolated. Yeah, disallowing trade, and we're a trade league. Why can we give them transit rights? Well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, so the trade port here should... It's going to be a bit before all the trade recovers, but it should recover. And their economy should slowly recover too. I should go ahead and build up one of their coal mines while we're at it, because all that grain they're grabbing, for example, from this one rice farm, a lot of it just gets exported to us, so it's great. So if Russia starts to like us again, that would be good for us, but we also have investments in Germany that we don't want to lose, so it's like we can't really go to war with anyone here at this point. We've kind of dug our own box. How much GDP do we own globally? We own almost 300 million GDP outside the country. We own 13.6% of British GDP. I love it. How much of the population are capitalists now that we've... 0.95%, almost 1%. We actually still own some territory over here that could become a subject. Is that a French puppet? Yep. All right. Sokoto, you know what? I have decided we're just going to grant you more land, and we'll use you as kind of our little statelet out here instead. What is this called? Volta? And then North Cameroon, I actually would like to grant to this colony down here. And then I feel like we're just redrawing borders on a map, aren't we? This doesn't feel right. It probably isn't meant to feel right. Oh well. Let's go draw more borders. That might work, actually. I think the main reason why they're so unstable is because a good chunk of their population are unemployed. Millions of those pops now just died in the Civil War, so it's actually not as terrible now. They are still stuck on traditionalism, which doesn't help. I actually don't know. Would they take a law commitment? Where is it? Here it is. Would they... She's 108. They get an additional minus 100 to acceptance when on isolationism. And that includes trying to get them off isolationism. It would be nice if they did accept it. Could we just pay you again? We could, and your budget is terrible, and I can take advantage of that. I don't want to abuse the transit rights thing, though, because that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what that is about. Oh, right, they're not. I was going to say, what do you mean they're a subject of another nation? That's not right at all. I can't read. I think that this is the maximum you can do with the bribe, right? I don't think it'll go any higher. Yeah, 109 is the most I can get out of it. That's effectively the most. If they weren't isolated, we could get it going. But since they are isolated, it's not really passing. I wish we could make them do agrarianism because the rural folks would support it. But we make them commit to our law, which is interventionism. We could probably bribe with a goods trade, maybe. But that only works up to a point. It kind of depends on what you're looking at here. And you have to keep in mind our treaty port is still doing its thing. I don't even think they want to trade export anything because they're in a deficit for it all, right? Yeah. 72,000. No, because there, like a lot of other things, there's a cap on how much you can actually get out of acceptance from bribing them. The input quantity can only go up to plus 75. From that, they need to have a worse budget deficit and larger loans. And also their economy would have to be a lot smaller than ours. All of those could push them to agree in some way. Is it still like export fruit to us? Is that one of the few things you can even do is just fruit? Because you're kind of negative in a lot of other areas, I've noticed. Except fabric, actually. Or positive on fabric ourselves. Yeah, no, we can't get it. If they weren't on isolationism, we could, but we're kind of abusing the fact that they're on isolationism to make our treaty port extra important for their economy. Now, whether it will fully recover is a different story. But I am seriously considering increasing our import subsidies of grain. In fact, maybe we do export groceries. Maybe we just do that because they're buying up a lot. We could do tools, couldn't we? Aren't we, like, flooded with tools here? Minus 18. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be costly. I may have to raise taxes again or add a consumption tax. But here's hoping the subsidies keep going down to offset the subventions. We could also just end our diplomatic pacts that we have going on, which in the Heavenly Kingdom I will probably stop doing. Actually, no, we do want the Heavenly Kingdom one. We don't have that one yet. We have the German-Dutch League now, so that's good. We can actually go ahead and just disconnect that one there. Where's the other one again? It's in the Confederacy, which I actually might keep that one going. We did get the Confederate Dutch Society. I don't know if I noted that already. Which is good, because that actually gives us more leverage due to the existence. Oh, we're also considered adjacent to them now because of the treaty port. That's funny. How amusing. At the rate this is going, we might maybe get the Confederacy in? I actually don't know. I mean, we could give them military assistance. That's worth something, right? Yeah, that gives leverage. I could do, I guess if we want to go all in and get them in the power block, we may as well just go all in, right? Yeah, there you go. Just kind of really invest into it here. We could do that to make their economy worse, but we also export a lot into them. So I'm not sure if that would go well. They also might still grow in debt anyway. We actually don't really know what their finances look like. Plus, it is kind of funny to watch the treaty port grow and be like a third of our total capacity. Let's get mass propaganda next. When has that ever gone wrong? Mass propaganda. Can't imagine it going wrong at all. Now, I would like to note again, we are on private health insurance, so our standard of living is around 22.6 on average, instead of being a lot closer to 24 or 25. That being said, that does mean we are still achieving a pretty good standard of living with a lack of modifiers. Which I feel like is commendable in a way. Also, I'm trying to figure out, do I want to export rich stuff. Like, do I want to export luxuries? I guess we are exporting luxuries. You know what? Let's just export luxuries. Why not? It's an excuse to make more of them. Also, we could do more glass. I did get the technology for it. I think we always need more glass anyway. It does mean we would need to import a significant amount of oil. But you know what? I'm fine with that. It also means the oil rig here can stop prancing around and actually hire people. And if it doesn't, we're going to fire whoever's in charge. Treaty port maxing, basically. It's effectively what we're doing. Whether it's wise or not. It's just so weird to have all these unemployed pops and then have all these buildings telling me that they can't hire people. It's like, what are you doing? There's like 200,000 people on the street looking for a job. Oh, the French are going for a treaty port in, well, you know where. And of course, I believe we have a treaty of guaranteed independence. So I believe we are actually obligated to come to their aid. And this time, I will not forget it, chat. We are going to do a treaty port in France. I just need to... There's what? It's Provence and Normandy both have it. It's only those two. Which one has more people? They're roughly the same. 64, 21. I guess it doesn't really matter which one I pick then. I guess we could get another Mediterranean treaty port. That would probably look better. Enforce goods transfer, enforce treaty port in Provence. Or Provence. There we go. See, I thought about liberating the south of France, but why don't we just keep doing our treaty port shenanigans instead? And this time, we've grown the army by an additional 100,000 people, so, yeah, I actually don't see them winning this war against us. The U.S. did join on their side, it said? Did I read that right? Oh, but I was like, it says the U.S. joined, but I don't see the U.S. in the war. It's because they're joining a different diplomatic play. Okay. I'm over here thinking they've joined against us. Oh, see, the French could back down and we don't get the treaty port at all then. Which would kind of suck, but if it happens, oh well. Are you saying no to this because you're isolationist? Defend the borders. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Really quickly, actually. We might be able to use this war more. Yeah, it doesn't equal up to it yet. No, we can't make it a primary because we're not the war leader. We're just joining as an ally. I have actually been considering playing with mods before. I could just never find a mod that I really resonated with. And that's not any shame on mods. There are really good mods for Victoria 3. I just really like playing Victoria 3 in its base form. I don't know why. I just really enjoy playing it in its base form. And just, you know, I just like the game that much is what it means. Oh, they backed down. Okay, so we did not get our treaty port in the end, which kind of sucks. We might just go to war directly for it. But the French were humiliated, which is funny. That they've been humiliated by China and Belgium, basically. I know we're the United Netherlands, but we started out as Belgium, so I'm going to keep saying Belgium. There are only 9 great powers now, but Mexico is actually close to becoming a great power. That is so funny. You're still unrecognized, huh? Ooh, spreading plastic knowledge to the German Empire. Why not? Russia did put down that revolt in the end. They did not die to it. So, if anyone was hoping that they would die to it, they didn't. I'm sorry. Maybe next time. Wait, I'm sorry. How much of the GDP do we own in the Heavenly Kingdom? 32% of it now. 32% of it. And we still have nowhere near enough leverage because of their laws with isolationism and stuff. I don't think we'll ever get enough. We need... It's 10,000 total is a lot to grab. Are you exporting this? You are. I think we could try to be a stabilizing force by helping them modernize. Not really a stabilizing force. I really don't think we've been a stabilizing force at all. We've just been kind of doing our own thing. Like, yeah, we're running a deficit, but we have such a high credit limit, I just don't care at this point. Also, the Confederacy is with us now, but do I want... I mean, if I stop it, what does it drop to? Does it drop to anything? It's growing to 330, so we're fine. Hindustan wants an alliance. Trade privileges. We would be allowed to build in them. I mean, do I need... See, I don't know if I want the alliance. Because I'm worried with the alliance, they drag us into a war that we don't want. But what we could do is offer a defense pact. Which they declined. Okay, so... We'll have to wait again, but we might just agree to it. I would like to invest into India. That would be a nice investment spot. Not that our investment pool can't spend its investments already. We, Oh, right, we got the treaty port, didn't we? Can we build? Ooh, we can? I forgot. We can build construction sectors in the treaty ports. That's right. We can use a tiny parcel of their land to build up Belgium. That doesn't sound right at all. It's just that it was extremely unstable. Yeah, that's true. Also, I would like to remind anyone joining that the construction sector in Nantong is demanding steel from the Chinese market, which is mostly importing steel from our market with trade centers that we control. God, it's too funny. Maybe we really should just start doing more subventions. I'm just worried that we'll go into a mass debt spiral because of the unemployed. Who are kind of finding jobs and kind of not finding jobs. Honestly, at this point, I don't know what they're doing. They're lollygagging around, I guess. We actually need more hardwood. How are we on regular wood? And then hardwood is... Yeah, because what we could do, if hardwood is this expensive... That's why I have to, like, mutter to myself and think for a minute. I'm sorry. But if hardwood is that expensive, we could switch to focused hardwood production. It won't give us too much more because we actually don't have a lot of the little camps ourselves. But it will make the ones that we run a lot more profitable than they already are. Or at least more profitable. A lot more profitable might be stretching it. Ooh, maybe we can get assembly lines before this is over. Probably not. Our poor paper mills are so expensive. Let's actually try to pay for the subvention. Why is it doing that? Sorry, I just looking at the little math thing there. I don't know how it decides the percent rate on free trade. It's fine. We don't need to worry about it. Venezuela? Sure. There's no reason to say no to that. I would have liked to get technocracy at some point just for the extra company slot. But that's just me. Oh, wow. This is a horrifically, barely stable government. No, they're not unholy abominations. They are just weird enclaves of profitability. Now, as they expand, it kind of drops. Oh, the trade. Why is it so bad over here? Are you just lacking infrastructure? Yes. Yes, you're lacking infrastructure. That's what it is. Okay. That is not a problem. We can fix that. Speaking of fixing things, we can do the modern port. I don't know when we got that. We can also do joint electric trains. I prefer to usually just save till we get diesel trains. But we could switch to joint electric now. I mean, we have the electricity. We may as well just use it, right? You are stable, right? Like, you're not gonna collapse or anything. Okay, good. Oh, Slovakia exists now, chat. It's managed to break free. So, you know, good for Slovakia. Not so good for its prior owners, but, well, not everyone's a winner. Most of us just lose. We actually need a lot more electricity now. It's actually going to hurt when we switch off this, but oh well. It's actually helping some of the other ones, though, because there wasn't really any demand. Now there is. Ooh, Flanders gets a permanent railway throughput. That's good and bad. I remember the days when this throughput on your capital from that event was 100%. It was insane. 25% is still a lot. But imagine being like Belgium with only 2 states, and one of your states has 100% throughput on railroads. Absolutely nuts. It is a good thing that you can't do that anymore. I still haven't built the Statue of Liberty. Are there any skyscrapers? Aside from ours, I'm not seeing any airships go anywhere. Yeah. I was looking to see if there were airships going somewhere, because that will usually tell you if there is one somewhere. Let's see. Are they Conservative Party? Oh, the Conservative Party with no legitimacy. Uh-oh. It's okay. It's just 6 months. It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? Assyria? Oh, wow. Yeah, so, like, it's just collapsing over here now. How is the treaty port doing in the Ottomans? I'm sure it's having a fabulous time. It's doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. The one in Nantong is over 10,000 trade capacity used now. It is chugging along. And I think a lot of the coal here is exported. About half of it is, which is good. That is what we wanted to see. Brooklyn is saying it actually has a lot of capacity potential still. I could probably expand this by 30 points. Well, once the railway actually has more people working it. Maybe don't do it by 30. The railway is suffering. Maybe don't mass expand the railway. 2 of them, actually. We gave it to the Premium Foods Company. They have trade rights. We were taking it away in the previous stream, but then we realized the company can't buy it from the other company, and we were just self-sabotaging ourselves. So now we have to play with the fact that 2 companies have it instead of 1. It's weird and technically inefficient, but we have to accept it, because if we revoke it, 2/3 of our trade capacity, not 2/3, but like 1/3 of our trade capacity will just kind of vanish, and that's not really a good thing. Okay, we'll go ahead and end these lobby funds to focus our money at home. That's a lot of subsidies for the food industries. Is this just your wages? Am I just subsidizing your wages at this point? I am. I am grievously insulted by this, and I will be taking my money away from the company. I assume it's the same for most of them, is that we're just subsidizing wages at this point that they should be paying themselves. Which, absolutely tempts me to pass worker protections. Just to force them to start paying their wages again. It would also technically help our government administration get more wages. Oh, they're at the 10.6 now. They're actually doing fantastic. We could bring the Catholic Church into power. That'd be fun. Bring the Catholic Church into power, enact state religion this late into the game. That would not go over well. No, I think we'll just stick with what we have. It's a legitimate government. It's stable. It works. It's only 48%. Don't worry. Outlaw dissent. No one wants. Okay, well. We were subsidizing them earlier because we were noticing a very weird issue where none of the businesses were hiring anyone. They were just constantly empty. Like, they just weren't hiring the laborers. The food industry should actually self-heal now. In fact, now that we did the mass automation and they seem somewhat stabilized in a few sectors, chat, I actually do want to turn around and unsubsidize most of them. There are a few I actually want to keep going. But I wanted to do that and see if that fixed the issue. It kind of did and kind of didn't. I think at this point we have to let the businesses temporarily fail to re-succeed. We were seeing a very weird hiring-firing issue with the businesses that just wasn't making sense. And we couldn't really piece together why it was happening. In the end, I think it was just an issue where the wages were too low and they just didn't want to work. They wanted to stay on welfare. So it just wasn't really functioning as much as one would hope for it to. You know what? We're actually just going to go ahead and export furniture too. I was going to say clothes, but that's actually above base price. We could export glass though. And that should allow us to kind of use up our remaining trade capacity because of the excess. We can also just import more things. I would love to import more grain. Just to starve the world. The sole reason is just to starve the world. It sounds awful. Hate when it happens, right? Do they need... I actually don't know if they even need more in Geliboru. No, I mean, they've got like 300 capacity they could take advantage of, so that's fair. As for Brooklyn, we're kind of waiting for a population. Well, it is kind of slowly growing here now. You have how much infrastructure? 28. These use half a point of infrastructure, not one. I thought they used one. 1 million trade capacity might not be achievable without an extreme amount of pointless spam. But we are using over 32,000, and hopefully in time that's going to grow even more. Actually, we could probably get more grain to be exported from China now. In fact, the only reason it might not be exporting more is just because the price hasn't gone up enough yet. I mean, Nantong is kind of fluctuating, but it's not saying it can export more, and I'm just going to assume that's because... Oh. I'm going to assume that's because... It doesn't have the money for it. Heavenly Kingdom is granted foreign... Oh, to Korea, right. Yeah, that's okay. We don't really care too much. It's just Korea. It'll be fine. Actually need to import coal. Engines are being expensive as always. We actually could. I usually jump towards diesel engines here, chat, but we technically could switch the motor industries to electric. It's just that it would it would take a lot of power, which we do not have established. Yeah, the transportation, the whole power block stuff is already maxed out. We have no more capacity from which to pull from it in that sector of things. So the question is, do we wait for compression ignition? I was going for arc welding for more construction to give our investment pool more to work with. I guess let's just switch this over. We'll subsidize it so it doesn't immediately die. And hopefully our need for engines becomes an export for them instead. It's just natural growth. They have almost 500 million people. They've had about an extra 100 million pops grow over time, and some of their arable land was turned into plantations. Not a lot, just some of it. It's just an issue where China isn't really developing that much. A lot of its development is basically foreign investment from us now. And it's just not growing. It's also had multiple civil wars, which I'm impressed it hasn't collapsed as a result, actually. That's a little incredible. I know the Civil War only adds one ticker to fragile unity, but the fact it's happened several times and it's still together is neat. Because China usually just fractures and dies. Well, not usually, but generally speaking. It doesn't have a good time. There we go, 33,000. We're exporting 64,000 tools. Maybe, am I doing light subventions on those? We are. People just need to adapt. So much steel. If we stop constructing, are we balanced on our budget? Yes, we actually have a balanced budget if we just stop building. Speaking of which, let's actually maybe stop subsidizing the shipyards, or are they running a deficit? No, they're technically positive. It's just the steamers are kind of cheap. So you would technically need more ports, but I don't think the ports are that profitable. No, they're not. The Swift Merchant Marines are actually very, very cheap too. And I would love to export them, but the Merchant Marines becoming more expensive makes the trade centers less profitable because that's their primary input. But undercutting the market could be fun. That would kind of work with the investment rights, except I don't even know, does China even have that much infrastructure or construction? Because I know most of the construction sectors that we're seeing is just us right here. Oh, I see, it's at capacity, so I can't use it. That's fair. I mean, heck, we own 37% of the GDP in China. Our global GDP ownership is almost 400 million, on top of the 681 million GDP in our country. So we effectively have over 1 billion GDP by ownership already. We also actually can't grant them the investment rights because we're using so much of the authority right now on company charters over the limit. They're not fully on iron construction. I am seeing them use steel, but they don't have that many construction sectors. And we saw from a treaty earlier that they are in debt. 126 million. Wait, they're going to go bankrupt at this rate. Oh, maybe not bankrupt. Maybe not bankrupt, but they're definitely in debt, that's for sure. I think their debt's gotten worse, actually. No, it's still 109. Yeah, it's still the same as before. Oh, wow, the Shikoku Island actually broke away from Japan. Well, that sucks for them. Do we have investment rights in you? We do. How much of you do we own? Less than 20%, but we do own it. Oh, do you not have the Power Block Embassy? I thought you did. You don't. Hang on. Power Block Embassy, military assistance. You actually are very happy, too. Why is that? Oh, because they really like us. We're a great power. They're not. And also Navy. The Shikoku Treaty Port would be funny, but it wouldn't really grant us anything. Because the moment it's reunified with Japan, it would just vanish. Japanese East Micronesia. Technically could be a treaty port, but it's also technically not valuable. What we could do is invade Shikoku, annex it, offer it to Japan in exchange for a treaty port, maybe. It is 21 infamy, though. It is 21 infamy, though. I have to repeat that to myself because I wasn't certain, but we're just going to do it. Why do we have so many boats? Let's see, bring the smallest one over to Indonesia. And we're going to let that get ready in the background. Our standard of living's gone above 25, barely. Britain is also above 20 somehow. That's only 5th? All right, Quebec, Australia. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that reminds me. The journal entry. The dev diary showed that Australia is getting a massive nerf because most of it will be uncolonized. And well, that's probably historically accurate. It's such a massive nerf to Austria. It's good. It takes so much longer to fully colonize it and everything and be ready to go. It's just so sad for them. I feel bad for them. Maybe I shouldn't, but I do. We've actually helped build up Chongqing quite a bit. Shikoku backed down. They just straight up backed down. Okay. State transfer of Shikoku is worth 200. That's a good... Okay, we're getting somewhere with this. Getting somewhere with this. We still have 131. It's so hard to negotiate a treaty port out of people. Maybe not in the last 5 years. Okay, kind of, maybe. If you look at the start of the stream, about 20 years ago, we were sitting at like 250 million GDP. Now we're at 719 so far. Okay, maybe it would not be a good treaty port, but technically the Ryukyu Islands would be a lot easier to grab. I just don't want to keep this. It's just not a great treaty port location, unlike Kyushu, which has the Nagasaki Bay. Technically, Shikoku works too, except I'd be giving the whole state back. Oh, man, I really wish it was easier to negotiate a treaty port. Or I guess take off the power block embassy, yeah. See that? It's 161, 131. I could grant them investment rights into me, but we've come this far without doing that. I really don't want to turn tail now on that. And I don't think there's anything I can really offer them that they're interested in. Aside from that. Technically, if we weren't allied, I could give a defense pact. I don't think it's going to work. I think maybe we just give it back to them with military assistance. Because I don't think I can get the treaty port. I think instead, we try to pull them into our sphere of influence. Yeah. The addendums are fun to write, but this is really kind of... You can either role play with it, I guess, but it's more of a multiplayer thing. I almost said military thing. That was going to come out very wrong. Is there anything on here that is increasing your leverage resistance? There is. Protectionism. Can I make you switch to free trade? Maybe. What is your government made up of? What is the main government? Okay. Communist, corporatist, liberalist. Yeah, that's not going to work. And I don't want to renegotiate the treaty. We'll figure out what we want from Japan in a minute. We want something. We're just not sure what. That's all. Oh, we have censorship. I can't ask them. Could we just get you to do migration controls? Open the country, stop having it be closed and all that, because that would drop your leverage resistance. And then you can migrate. Yeah, that works for me. Yeah, that works. Yeah, the open borders one will work then. And that should be a bit easier to get past, because the only ones that'll be upset about that are the rule folk. Although they are doing a different treaty right now. But they do get Shikoku back. We weren't planning to keep it regardless, so it's no loss to us. That's a lot of... Why are we building all the motor industries in one place, by the way? I'm not complaining. I'm just curious, you see. I'm very invested in why everything is in one location. Sounds like something I would do. Also, I forgot to switch the power plants over to being bought. And I don't know if you noticed it, but the second I clicked the button to switch the power plants over to where they could be privatized in Wallonia, they were almost completely immediately bought. There were like 80 government levels here, and they all got bought at once. We could have... I was going to make them free trade, but they're kind of a bit too reluctant to do that right now. It's something we're going to have to try in the future. There's been a coup in France. The landowners have actually couped the government. Which is funny, because they have 2% political clout, but they just use the military to coup the government. The French ethno-state. Oh, I'm sure that's going down super well with the Germans. Oh, that must be going... they must be having the best time of their lives ever. Can we find some South Germans, please? I'm very... Right, they have colonial slavery, don't they? The poor Alemannics are being mistreated. Culturally erasure to the South Germans. Oh, it's awful. It's terrible. Yeah, and that's just with coal power. That's not even using oil power for the plantations. It's because we have like a level 220 motor industry operating here, which, by the way, is no longer bleeding money. It is profitable. We are exporting 17,000 engines. And one of the top 3 importers are the Indians. Which, by the way, we were almost able to get investment rights there earlier. So maybe we do that. What is your debt? 156 million? I'll take it. I can afford to. I'll do it. It's a big debt increase for me, but Spanish mass migration, excellent. But we get investment rights in there. So 8 countries in the world now have over 100 million GDP, which is still a lot less than a player. But, you know, they're doing their best. They're trying their hardest. Japan's trying to finish their current law. India, that might not be doable. It's kind of the same rule of thumb. We'd have to go to war for it and force it. We probably could get it, actually, even though the only issue is we just passed a treaty to get investment rights, and if we go to war now, they're going to revoke that treaty, and then we don't get anything. Can we... I really wish the French Rhineland was owned by Germany. It would make the borders less atrocious over here. Scandinavia is already messing it up. I don't know why France had to join the pile. Oh, wow. Poor Scandinavia is having, like, an economic meltdown. They had almost 40 million GDP, and it's just been falling. You're in debt, too? I mean... For a few treaties, I'll take it on for you. You just have to let me take over your economy afterwards, is all. Which, I mean, they agreed to it, chat, so... I don't know what to say. Ukrainian mass migration. We're just getting all the... Oh, no! We're never ending the unemployment issues. What kind of mod are you using that's getting the AI to reach a million GDP? Or sorry, a billion GDP. I assume it's a mod that has effects to the economy, of course. 134,000 migrations in that month. How big? What is the biggest Dutch, Flemish, Wallonian? That's fine. There's Han. We have a couple million Han for the treaty port. France, because we annexed France. Then there's Spanish, German, Greek, Russian. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. 500,000 peasants over here. We really should build one of these up, actually. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think about it, he says. Yeah, Scandinavia is kind of an economic colony in the sense that we can invest in them. Our GDP ownerships are on 25%. Our global GDP ownership outside the country is 416 million now. And 100 million of that is just the Heavenly Kingdom. Where are we on the trade centers? Ooh, they could... The Indian ones apparently can get a lot. We have a lot of potential in a couple of areas. Brooklyn needs to hire more people first. Flanders is saying it can do some. But look at India here. It's saying it has a lot of potential. Maybe for the exportation of opium. You know what? I like your style. You've got my investment. And thankfully, these only take a few weeks to build each. So it won't even take that long to build them up. Nantong, I think, is kind of waiting for more demand before it will do more exports. Technically, it's a little radicalized as well, but Yeah, it's got about 1,000 capacity, almost 2,000 it's not using still. Our biggest imports are coal and iron. That's our top two biggest imports, is coal and iron. Goodness. And then you are unable to hire while we have over 400. That's what I mean is, how are you not hiring when we have so many unemployed? Are you missing shopkeepers? Oh! Oh, yeah, no, that is exactly what the issue is. There are no shopkeepers. Huh. Chat, we are now going to engage on a mass university campaign, because apparently we don't have people who know education good. A bunch of them. Oh, I see, because then they can just exploit for more resources instead of their having to invade others. Okay. That would explain where some of that development is coming from in your game. Let's just build 55 silk plantations. What could go wrong? And now we just let the government build everything. Obviously, if they can't fund the trade centers, that is not my fault, because I don't own them anymore. At least I don't own their funding. And not having ownership of the funding is why. There we go. Those poor bourgeoisie have so much power, so many executives, and yet the industrialists and the trade union are able to counteract them anyway, thanks to elections. I say elections, we're manipulating the elections to where they get most of the votes anyway. Although it seems like even with that, the Radical Party is still getting a lot of votes. Again? Again, France? For the same thing? Are we really doing this again? Okay, I don't want to take more territory from France because that's not going to look great. So what we're instead going to do is we're going to try to get that treaty port that we tried to get from them last time. Because we can only pick one thing, and I want to keep playing into our treaty port stuff. So we're going to play into that. If I could take more than one thing, I'd also take their colonies. But I can't, so we're not playing into it. Oh, good. The U.S. is feeling friendly. The British have just ended our very long-standing treaty of investment, unfortunately, chat. They have become very belligerent, which was caused by a decrease in relations. Although that was actually because of them, so, yeah. Did they make up with France or something? No, they're probably just upset from us doing actions. Our electoral confidence is at... Oh, it's at 0%. It's not that bad, really. It's actually doing quite fine. Everyone knows the election is rigged, but they vote anyway. Unfortunately, we can only get treaty ports in people who have coastal provinces. Oh, wow. Forgot to switch these guys over. They weren't even using the right one. Alright. Yeah, I know too. But it's okay. The Swiss usually trade through someone. Oh. The Swiss have no treaty, so they actually can't trade with anyone right now. They're basically landlocked with no trade. So if you're hoping to get to the Swiss bank, I have bad news for you. How are you still alive? It is 1912, my guy. Also, we'll get the treaty port now because the war actually kicked off. I know everyone saw that the war kicked off, but I just wanted to know that we will, in fact, get our treaty port. It is going to happen this time. We are not going to be denied a second time in a row. Also, radio tech just finished, so that's another luxury we can make. Also, the electric arc process. Yeah, we'll come back to that after we do the radio production, because that's going to be a nightmare. I can already tell you. Switching 341 steel mills over to the electric arc process is just asking for things to collapse. It would be good for the steel market, though, because apparently we can't stop building it. So, another 80 power plants for Wallonia, I guess. So, they've mobilized a lot of troops, haven't they? Yeah, in fact, we are missing a lot of troops. So maybe we dig in for a minute here. Let the recruitment process go to work and do its thing. Yep, we will switch it over. I'm just gonna build up the infrastructure for it first. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I was like, I have no idea where this is. Yeah, we need to give the armies a minute to reorganize. One of them actually has a terribly low org. But they're still in the middle of their offensive, so they haven't switched over yet. I mean, they're winning, don't get me wrong, but we kind of need to reorganize a bit here. We have plenty of unemployed. They should, at the very least, gladly join up with the military, except for the whole dying part, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's right. Hang on, chat. We haven't had a team to fight along with in so long. I forgot, and I really hate this, that the AI loves to suicide your divisions. Like the Heavenly Kingdom is doing right now when I was trying to stop attacking for a bit to recover. Gotta switch it over to where you can only use your own. The electricity shortages aren't real. Okay, sure. Boop. And then we'll make sure the others they can't be switched over because they're all right here except for one. Oh, good. Electricity shortage. Who could have seen this coming? Absolutely no one could have seen this coming. Amazing foresight. No one would have seen it coming. It's just not possible. Man, I kind of wish we had a company that bolstered electrical production now, but oh well. Ooh. I know this is going to temporarily de-org our battalions, but 5 offense and 10 defense is something I cannot ignore. We're just going to have to give them a month or two to reorganize so their offense and defense come back up. Yeah, it sucks to wait, but sometimes you gotta wait. A casual 500 power plants. More like 100 for now, but it is hiring a lot of people at least. Our unemployment is still around 2 million, though, because every time someone's hired, a new person just walks over the border like they've been waiting their turn. Which, at least they were waiting. Where is... There it is. Okay, we're at 41%, or 41 advantage now, so we can just march in. Stalwart defender. Oh, yeah, we're just mowing right through them. I don't even know where their army is. Yeah, jeez. Oh my god, the ratio difference. It's a 3-to-1. Roughly. We've taken the capital, so it's over, but we may as well ransack the countryside while we're at it, right? We might not need artillery anymore, but artillery does give you more offense than the infantry do. So it is still technically good to have them anyway, because they will also benefit from the machine guns. So, it is arguably still in our best interest to have it. If only to just make life miserable for the French. Did you fire your workers when you got upgraded? Is that what happened here? I mean, I guess you are paying a lot of electricity right now, aren't you? Yeah. So what, we could probably do another 51 Honestly, you could do another 100 here, judging by the numbers. Because once it starts hiring people, it's going to spike right back up. Steel prices did technically come down, though, so still a win. Just ignore the fact this thing is consuming like 10,000 coal, and that's about a tenth of our demand for coal right there, roughly. Just ignore that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I think what they need to do is they need to change urban centers in some way, because your issue is that urban centers will usually reach this point where either services are too cheap and they can't hire, or our instance where they just cannot maintain their employees for whatever reason. Even though this state has 500,000 unemployed pops, it just cannot hire and maintain people here. And I don't understand why, and I don't know exactly why, but it's obvious that the urban centers are not working as intended right now. And I would very much appreciate if they could go in and fix them. Because I do genuinely feel like they're not working as intended, because I'm constantly seeing urban centers that are not fully employed, especially in the mid to late game. Also, something I would like to note is that the arcades production method for the urban centers actually adds more jobs than it removes. If you see the math here, if we were to switch off the arcades, you actually would have less jobs using covered markets. And having more jobs added onto it while also having to pay more wages at the same time, you know, that could be a bit of an issue for its profitability. That is definitely one big issue that urban centers have. Enemy of my enemy. The Union of South Africa. The Union of South Africa? What are you, communist? No, but they are enacting an ethno-state, which is... yeah. Definitely not the friendly sort of thing you'd be thinking about for a colony. That's probably what you'd expect from a colony in this day and age, though, huh? It's the exact kind of behavior you'd expect from them. Oh, good. The textile mills did actually manage to recruit everyone in the end. Fantastic. How much of our GDP is just Flanders? A fourth of it. It's just a fourth of it right here. Dutch supremacist movement and ethno-nationalist. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, we annexed this part here and never gave it to Bornu. I mean, we'll do it once the war with France is over. 500,000 pops in the Heavenly Kingdom now, despite everything. Don't worry, that is a big treaty port. What kind of treaty? I mean, for France, that is a big treaty port. And we have to... Okay, this is another thing I hope they fix. Is once you get a treaty port, you have to save and reload in order to fix it. And that probably also comes... That's probably the same issue the AI has with treaty ports, too. I actually don't know if that's breaking Britain's treaty port with China early on. You basically created Monaco. Yeah, we basically created Monaco. Treaty port Monaco. Which, once you give it a minute here to recalibrate, the trade should actually start making sense again. Yeah, they can do whatever. I really don't care what they're doing over there. Okay. At least the save and reload feature that I'm doing works to fix it. It's just annoying that it has to be done to fix it. There's like no one to work here. Oh, that's fine. They're fleeing to the French Low Countries. Oh, wait. Really? In the French market. Oh, interesting. I never realized treaty ports could migrate with your market, though. That is actually something I didn't realize. Where are we getting all this authority from? Oh, you got expert political operator. Right. Yeah, of course. The Treaty of Chengdu. Why? Taiping Radical Revolt. Oh, is it because they fell into civil war again and that's why? Their debt's 186 million now. Oh, it's because they don't want the power block embassy anymore. They're very against it. They're actually very against the investment rights too now. That kind of sucks. But we should be able to just bribe them back, right? Yeah. We'll have to use this for the bribes instead then. Even then, it's not guaranteed that they accept. They're actually more likely to accept a guarantee. Okay, there we go. We got it back. It's fine. Oh! Russia is invading China. Interesting. That is fascinating information. Excuse me one moment, chat. Just gonna do that. And then we also need to join them in their little anti-revolts, but that'll come later. So, we just beat up France and got a treaty port. Now we're gonna go help beat up Russia for the treaty port. We do also want to join the anti-revolt side here and help put that down. No! Really? Are they allies or something? No, they're not even... Oh, yeah, they are. I was going to say, they're not allies. You're allied to Spain, but they are allies. Oh, no. That means I'd have to fight Germany, which I can't do. See, now this could actually be a bit of an issue because... You know, that's a lot of Germans. That's a, you know, excuse me one moment. I need to, there are a lot of people who said that they really wanted a job in the army. So we're just gonna, oh, good. The Emperor's also dead. I think, things are going downhill really fast here. Like, really fast. The Emperor's dead. We're going to war with Germany. I need a second army to come back, actually, and defend against this, just to be safe. So I can only afford to send one army over now to help defend them and hope they put the revolt down on their own as as Korea also rips itself apart. We can't call in anyone because the war leader is the Heavenly Kingdom, not us. So that's something to keep in mind, is that we cannot call in anyone for this conflict. The only saving grace we have is that it looks like... Why are you at war with my colony? What happened? What is my colony doing? Okay. I don't know what they're doing, but alright. They're definitely up to something, that's for sure. Just, I need another general for the inevitable. Are they attacking us? I assume they are. Yes, they are, okay. Oh, this is going to go in textbooks later when they write about this war. Oh, the casualties. Oh no, Russia, what have you done? Oh no, Russia. It's getting worse. Oh my god. Look at the casualties. In one battle, they lost 360,000 men. Oh my goodness. I was so worried about having to fight the Germans that their army was led by the Russians into strategic defeat. It's actually 1914. Oh yeah, it is. And it's almost like World War I, I guess, because technically, I mean, we've got several technically, Austria's in this too, if you count it. It looks like they are putting the revolt up. Did they do it over here too? Oh my god, they did, didn't they? They did. They pushed over here and just killed themselves. What had, like, the biggest battle effect here? Here it is. Yeah, 70, almost most of the troops there. Half of them there. Yeah, so they had several battles where they lost most of their troops. Now, there's no guarantee we can push in and defeat the Germans, but I'm hoping that we're able to, since they took such severe casualties. But this is kind of a wait-and-see approach. Also, this is why you want artillery. Oh yeah, we can recruit the French to join the battle, too. Come on, French. Come join the fun. Even though there isn't a lot of you left there. Okay, the revolt's done, so the Heavenly Kingdom can almost fully focus on the war now. I'd like to do a naval invasion and just knock out Russia. But I cannot afford to do that just yet. Because we still need a lot of our army fighting the Russians and the Russians and Germans here. Sorry, still thinking about fighting the French. Okay, we did lose that battle, so we're not quite winning. Not quite losing either. Could we dig in one army and invade with the other? We might be able to. Although, one of the armies... Oh, that's because of the conscripts, right? Yeah. It always looks weird with the conscripts in play. So I think maybe... This is probably just going to pull a bunch of their troops away. And they're just going to come defend from it. But maybe we could get a landing going. Because at near equal number, I actually feel pretty confident we can defend. Oh, yeah, yeah. At near equal numbers, our defense is kind of king. It just wins it for us. Now, our economy is stalling and suffering because these major back-to-back wars are disrupting trade, which obviously is not a good thing. It's hard to trade with people that you're actively at war with, in case no one knew. What did you back down to? And I'm not even going to ask. You're still my subject. That's all that matters. Okay, so it looks like they brought over 200,000 troops home to defend the capital. Which is a shame, because we were making some initial landing progress. Because we still have difficult landing penalties, I think. Oh, no, we don't. We actually don't have that anymore. Is it just because it's just because there's too many of them, yeah. I figured that could happen, too, is that we sent too many troops with the conscripts. But we needed the conscripts. There were a lot of enemies on screen. Okay, let's... I mean, do you think you can win it? Because you keep telling me you can and can't. No, let's just stop the invasion. Just focus on destroying the economy. Naval invasion of Berlin might work, but we might face a similar situation that we just faced over there. So it's kind of hard to say. If we had siege artillery, that would work. Which is defense in depth. We could switch to that. We could delay compression ignition for a little bit. Because we already make radio, siege artillery would just give us more offense to actually work with. So that would be good. At the very least, we are making sure that the Heavenly Kingdom won't be just eviscerated by the Russians. So there's that. Although they might lose Korea, which I can't help with. That part's kind of on them. That's all them. And their valiant efforts to keep their country together. Or something like that. Oh, Germany left. Technically, that's not good because I can't really reach over. Oh, I know what to do. We are going to be slightly cheeky and maybe a little exploitative. Because, what we're going to do, chat, is we're going to invade the Baltic, but the AI is not going to realize it should be defending that because it's not their territory. So what's going to end up happening is we're basically just going to invade it for free, and then they're going to have to scramble over to defend it. Let's actually get a third general in this, too. It is a little cheeky. It is kind of abusing the fact that the AI doesn't realize it should probably defend this. We are blockading with the fleet because Ingria is the world market capital for the Russians. So blockading it means that we end up blockading their market access in every state and disrupt their trade significantly. And that's okay because we have a foothold now. I am basically being cheeky, and like I said, I'm abusing the fact the AI doesn't know it should defend against that naval invasion. And we are basically going to win the war because of that. No. We have basically won this war. I am not giving the Russians investment rights into the Congo just because you want to end this war a little sooner. That is not something we are doing here. I refuse to permit any of it. Oh. They're doing a little invasion border through us. Not that it matters. They've already lost the war. Now, this is a rather expensive war, I'd like to say. We're actually going to demobilize the army that's in China because we are spending so much money on this war. Absolute insane amount, almost 2 million a week. Our subsidies are also through the roof, but that's not a surprise because, again, war. It's kind of bad for business, and the economy is stagnating due to it. No, I think Scandinavia fell into a war with Spain, and Germany joined Spain's side, it looks like. So, yeah, that's just kind of happening. Oh, it might be the British joined, and I think the Germans and British hate each other. Yeah. One or the other. Someone joined, and someone was against it, and it just didn't end too well. We're just going to wait for the Russians to capitulate here. There's no reason for me to give the Russians something in this peace treaty when they've just completely lost the war. You know? Whoever the bourgeoisie are a part of. We back that one and only that one. After that, we need to, start fixing our financial issue. We have a lot of debt now because of that. Here's hoping the subsidies also begin to wane down. Our trade with Germany definitely broke because we lost our trading rights with them. I mean, we could probably bribe them, right? They're still at war. Yeah, we can bribe them to get our investments back. And now we have a little treaty port outside St. Pete. No, why are you saying it's technically owned by us? That's not true. It's not true. We don't own it. I hope. Please tell me it worked this time. God. I don't mean to keep doing this to you guys. I'm sorry, but at least it shows you that the treaty ports need a slight touch-up on their code. But I had to do this 3 times now in one stream to fix them every time we got a new one. On the bright side, we got them. On the other side, why does it keep breaking? It's the 3rd one in one game. Or, well, I guess across two episodes. I think we only had to do it twice this one, but you get the idea. Also, Borneo needs these now, so it's going to be, what, this and that. You know, we're making little puppet states out here. This is our version of colonies. Also, they actually have them as incorporated states, so that works super well. And Sokoto incorporated these states, so that works extremely well. Dutch Congo's all the way down. That's the capital of the Congo. I love it. Okay. That's funny. As for the debt we're in, we'll just deal with it. We actually could have switched over to arc labor for a while ago. Or arc welded buildings a while ago. We never did it because we were kind of distracted. We're going to do that now and get more construction, which was up from what? I'm not sure how too much. I wasn't tracking it very well. Just know that it was more. And there's now an electricity shortage in several states. Which we're already building into, so I guess I can't really do too much there unless... Okay, no, I could definitely build more here. I think we need to build more in both states. Although they're building 16 there. 13... Is 13 enough here? It's not. Whatever the case is, we have more construction now, and hopefully most of that will be abroad. It probably won't be, though. They still love building that same steel mill up. It's ridiculous. It can't even hire half its staff now, and I almost feel like that's on purpose. It's probably the canal company zones. Probably don't have... Yeah, they don't have any power plants. At the time, we hadn't built any because it just didn't seem like we'd need them. But I guess if we want to be using our construction sectors to their fullest extent, we'll need them, so... Building them up, we shall. An embargo against Brazil. I'm not up for it. I don't feel like it. Are we serious? Are we going to keep doing this every time a war ends? Okay, Mexico. Oh, I didn't even notice the Confederacy. Oh, because it's a war they joined, right? Okay. It's a war they joined. That's fair. Well, you started this war, Mexico. I'm just joining it against you. Okay, I guess treaty port time again. I don't think Mexico has any good treaty port spot. Oh, they do. Oh, I'm gonna keep quiet because they do. They have a good treaty port location. Though we kind of have a debt problem. And I'm told that could be a bit of a debt problem. Let's remove the social mobility in Nantong. I don't think we need it anymore. We've been doing it for a very long time there. And let's start taxing luxury furniture just to bring down the deficit. I could cut subsidies to the shipyards at this point and just let them partially fail. They're technically making money. They're just giving themselves way too much money. And that's going to at least drop the subsidies a fair bit. Technically, we could drop subventions too, but we're being fun with our trade. We have over 300,000 in welfare, and it's just... businesses just aren't hiring folks. And I don't know why, because they're 51 productivity. It's not as if they're struggling for profit. And it just seems like they're... God, you're telling me 51 is not high enough to hire? What is this productivity competition? Higher 58, and it needs higher productivity to compete. At this point, it's just unreal. I guess, are we importing steel? We shouldn't be importing steel. We should be exporting steel. We should be a steel exporter. I'd say as steel prices remain at an all-time high, but they don't need to know that. You know, the treaty port in France is looking great, at least. Do just 50. Have to build up the railway system. And what about... Okay, let me look at it domestically first. Kronstadt probably can't do too much. Nantong doesn't have a lot of access right now. Flanders apparently can do a lot, partially tools. Brooklyn says it has a lot, and I guess... we can build it up a little bit. How has Flanders only got 7 infrastructure free? That's crazy. Oh, no, it doesn't. I'm reading the wrong button. Number. It was trade capacity is what I was reading. Eh. Oh, well. Oh, there goes the interest rates. Because I upset the bourgeoisie a bit too much. Oh man, they have some interests, I see. State religion, you say? You know, maybe we do switch to state religion, actually, chat. I was content with freedom of consciousness. But I could use the extra authority at this point. Ethno state would stop us from getting pops in, but our unemployment's dropped almost 1 million, so that's not really necessary. Oh, yeah, you can't even... I don't think anyone can become a leader of the bourgeoisie regardless. It's... Appeasement is so upset, though. And they're led by a hedonist. How funny. Militarized police force. Armed forces strength. I mean, it would make the bourgeoisie happy, so sure. Why not? Gotta militarize the police first before anything else. Alright, bring over the army. It's time to maybe invade Mexico, because this may just fail. We probably need a second navy to really pull these kinds of things off. Oh, good. Compression ignition. So remember how we started using that electricity chat? Now we could technically switch to diesel engines to make even more engines, except it completely kills the electricity demand we just made. But it would technically be very profitable. We'll think on that. First, I need to switch over all of our mines so they can be more profitable and complain less. Also the farms, because why not? And then, of course, conveyor belts and automatic bottles. Coup in Sardinia. Well, glad to see the coups are alive and well. Oh, it'd be so much oil to use, too. 34,000 oil. Is there even enough in the world to consume right now? I actually don't know. I mean, we definitely would destroy global demand for engines, I can tell you that much. We might not, we actually might not switch that one over just because it may actually destroy things. Oh yeah, what about the automotive industry? Automobiles. I can switch that one over. That won't be as terrifying to deal with, probably. Maybe. It will crack the automotive demand at least. And give us a healthy boost to its production. As it still fails to hire people here as well. I think our productivity is just too high in various areas that the game's freaking out and thinking no one can be hired, and I just don't understand it. You know, it's there, it works, but I don't get it. Can we maybe export? Are we exporting automotive? We are, kind of. Could probably pay to export them. We're actually making a profit again, finally, thank God. Right? It would be funny. It would also collapse the electricity grid. By collapse the electricity grid, I mean there would be too much electricity and we'd have to fire people. Also, this thing is basically almost not making a profit at this point. That's with the electricity active. I mean, I know we can import oil from the US, but the US is currently in a war right now, which has probably killed that import. Oh yeah, absolutely. Whatever we were importing is probably failing now. Are you, God, where is an actually functioning oil rig? I mean, we do have oil from the Confederacy as well now. Can Russia get oil? I assume not. I assume they don't even know what the hell oil is. No, they could if we had investment rights. I think we can do it in Germany, not that they have a lot. You know what? This is stupid, but we're going to go ahead and do it. Only this time I'm not financing its destruction. I will let it collapse on itself. And we are going to spend money to import oil because, of course, we're going to need it. Oh, it did fire a number of people. We don't need a treaty port in the Confederacy because the Confederacy is in our power block, which means they're in our market. So we don't need a treaty port in them at all. No, the Greeks are obsessed with opium. I don't know if we noted that already. They also had a secession, apparently. Good for them, which is good for no one. We very quickly started importing oil, and the biggest exporter to us is, of course, the Americans. Because, of course, it is. Who would have guessed? Not me, considering they're in the middle of a war with their partners of the South. It looks like it just ended, actually. So, in the end, the motor industry, when I stopped subsidizing it as well, just kind of fired people. But I guess it kind of works out, because now there's plenty of electricity for the electric industry. If it ever gets around to hiring more people. How do you need higher You need higher productivity to compete. Are you telling me it's just not possible for you to hire people? But if I subsidize your wage, you'll start hiring them fine again. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we're doing this shenanigan again, but I'm not doing it for the food industry because the last time I did that, it actually just didn't hire anyway. Okay, well now they're starting to hire people everywhere. Yeah, I don't get what the issue is and what's going on. It's working, and I guess that's all that matters. Yeah, we'll probably invest into China here now. For the oil. There's actually a lot of places we can do oil investments into. This, of course, presumes they have found the deposits and can actually have them be built upon. They could end up not knowing where the deposits are at all, and we just sit here staring at them, wondering. I think our invasion of Mexico might fail, but I'm honestly not certain. I'm going to assume it's going to fail. God, we're in such massive debt now because of the subsidies. But the subsidies actually cause them to hire people. Oh, well, yeah, it's negative, so I wouldn't even do furniture then. Yeah, some of these actually just straight up failed now because they've hired too many people. So I think instead, let's not do that. Because that didn't work at all. But we'll get more automation because why not? I kind of don't even want to subsidize the shipyards anymore. Trade centers still get their subsidization. Of course, we're building that's using up 1.25 million in ducats there. The police have also been militarized now, which is probably not a good thing, but I've been instructed to pretend it's a good thing, and so pretend we shall. For the time being. Man, you have a lot of export potential still. Do you want me to have more people migrate over there while we're at it? What about Kronstadt says it can do a lot. French Low Countries, that's actually ours. We'll see what these do. Get some railways there. But yeah, we'll invest where we can here. How much of the population are owners now? Oh, let me close the very, very long culture chart. 1.42% of the population are now capitalists. We actually have more machinists than laborers now, which is neat. Unemployment is technically falling, finally. Now, if we could just find more lead, that'd be great. Yeah, I figured we'd have to import it. Of course we do. Subventions are going up. Subsidies are still painfully high. Are the trade centers really not making money now? Or is it just... I guess that's what you get with fluctuations. Still very fun to see how big our economy is getting, though, with so few states. We do have a bit of a market from coast to coast, of course. We actually got the treaty port in Mexico. Very nice. I swear to God, if I have to switch it again, I swear. This one better have worked. Every time. Every treaty port so far, I've had to save and reload to make it actually work for the market it's in and not my market. I don't want to treaty port my own market with myself. That's not how treaty ports work. Lead being one of our top 3 costs or expenses. Oh, they're improving relations at least, so... Oh, Puerto Vallarta. We will see if that treaty port does anything quite well. I don't think it will, but we shall see. I know our treaty port in the U.S. is helping them import a lot of glass and getting them to export a ton of oil, which is why it's so profitable, I'm sure. I definitely could use a little more. Oh, but you don't have any capacity because you don't have anyone to work here. It's okay. We can use the diesel train to improve it a little. Still not making a profit, but it will give us a little more infrastructure at least. And that'll actually make this more profitable. Just because it actually has a connection. EU treaty ports. Pretty much. I don't know why it's so broken. At least that's the only problem I'm having with the treaty ports is just inconvenience. It sucks, but that's the full extent of my issues with it. You get modern financial instruments, try to calculate our way out of this hole. We're going to need more electricity and more oil now, and I've decided that, yeah, we're just going to do that. We're going to make that a problem. We've come this far. Why not go the whole way? Electricity shortage everywhere except the one area that has that power plant that was costing us money. Now it's not costing us money. It's actually quite fine. Okay, that's going to need at least 60 levels. That's going to need at least 50 levels. And you're probably, what, 40? So kind of do all of this here. We're going to spend a lot of money on it again. And then Holland, kind of closer to 35. There we go. It's going to be a couple of months before those are all ready. We could actually switch to using oil for electricity later, but since we're using oil for the mines now, we may as well just take up the world's coal supply for electricity instead. Because why not, man? Why not? Make protectorate in Gran Colombia again. Spain just really wants Venezuela. One way or another, it's getting its Venezuela. It's going to fight tooth and nail for it somehow. I am watching our economy kind of ping-pong ball at this point. So it's not the most accurate graph to use, I'm afraid. Even though I wish it was. Oh. Interesting. They've activated this journal entry a year ago. I didn't even notice it. It's going to crash pretty soon, I'm sure. Even though they get some investments from us, those investments are not as much as you might think. No, there's not really a reason to Steam Donkey it. Yeah, technically we'd get coal back to use, but it's going to be making it way less profitable for the mine itself. Plus, there's a lot of mines around the world we can just, you know, help build up and then get money from while our company owns it. You know, the capitalist thing. It's okay, we're fine. Everything's fine, I swear. We just need to take all their coal. Not their oil, we need their coal. Well, actually, we need their oil too, so we'll also take the oil. But we just need the coal. That's all we truly need. This is actually maxed out. Technically domestic. Build that up to level 5, past level 500. And Flanders is exporting that glass. And Brooklyn can build more now that it's got more infrastructure in place. All this construction is driving up our expenses because we're spending like 1.2 million on construction on its own. But it is working. Electricity prices are stable-ish now. Honestly, it'd probably be better if we weren't making so many luxuries, but I don't even know if that would fix it at this point. I think the world just isn't as developed as Belgium is. And that's why we're in such a chokehold now. It's not our fault. It's the world's fault. Something like that. International telephone exchange with Mexico. I mean, yeah, I guess it allows us to bury the hatchet over the war and all that. So that kind of helps. Limited by the technologies of our time, yeah. It feels like it, doesn't it? Only imports, no exports. Poor Mexico. By the way, I'd like to note that this is the Belgian Statue of Liberty. It is our Statue of Liberty, so... Yeah, we stole the Statue of Liberty for the Americans. This is 3 times I've done that now with the exact same method of a treaty port in New York. Someone should probably stop me before I steal it again. Because we are going to steal it again in the far future. Oh, all top 10 GDPs are all over 100 million now. Still very much behind us. And they have had the crash. It's a lot of radicalized pops in Germany for a time. I don't think we need too much more coal, but we definitely still need coal. We need rubber. As always, there's never enough rubber. Sorry, that's a resource thing, not a... yeah. Of course, I don't know which ones are just missing laborers. Like, they need to hire people, and which ones are just genuinely... they need to be expanded. We need the Conservative Party here. Forgot you can technically hold the event and get some stuff out of it anyway, even though you probably shouldn't be able to do that. But oh well. Oh yeah, no, guaranteed. So how it works, it's like construction sectors. So if New York has 5 construction sectors, Brooklyn can only have up to 25 with our capacity. If New York has not had the Statue of Liberty built in it, a split-away state like Brooklyn in a treaty port can make the Statue of Liberty instead. Same with this breakaway up here. They could actually make the Statue of Liberty if no one else has already made it in the state. If it's something like a landmark that exists at game start, I think it more so depends on which piece you control then. I'm not as certain about how that functions. So I could not tell you in a guaranteed sense. But for the ones you build, yeah. I really don't want to do the power block statues. I know it's more infrastructure. I just don't like the constant annoyed spam. The same sound spam it does, it's not great for stream quality. What little stream quality I have. We're kind of bouncing between 800 and 900 million GDP. I was hoping to hit 1 billion, but we're having that weird hiring-firing issue. Just kind of on repeat. And also the heavy investment into luxury items may not have been a good idea. But we're kind of in that bed and we're sticking with it now. Let's see what happens once we're done constructing, because our debt is really up there. Subventions have actually skyrocketed. At the rate this is going, I'm going to take treaty ports off my subsidies, because most of them are actually quite profitable. We're just paying the workers a lot. Although I think over here, if we don't do it... Yeah, if we don't do it in Nantong, they just don't have a wage. Which is kind of sad. That would be horrible ASMR, power block statues, and you know it. The interest rate's actually very low. We are at a 3.5% interest rate right now. We're researching the technology that drops it further. And that is with the bourgeoisie. Oh! Oh, you know what, chat? We're missing like 300,000 in unrealized taxes. Yeah, I forgot about this thing where I'm actually supposed to make sure I'm taxing people. So we can actually do the stuff we're trying to do. In fact, wait, how many telephones do we have? Not enough. I was going to switch over to using telephones, but it's very expensive still. So we will continue to rely on good old paper. 'Cause paper doesn't fail. It's also a good way to get jobs guaranteed, actually, I just realized. I mean, standard of living, of course, it drops. We have taxes. Everyone's going to pay more money. There we go. Now we're not missing 300,000 in unrealized taxes, because that was extremely bad, and I didn't notice it until now. Monument worthy of the Emperor. Perhaps if we had gone about the playstyle differently, like a different canal company, or like a different company other than the Suez Canal, we might be at 1 billion already. But if it just didn't do the weird hiring, firing logic that it's been doing this game, we'd be fine too. There we go. That'll make the budget a little bit better regardless. Dough rollers, why not? How much glass do we export? Almost 40,000. There's not even enough buyers for all that glass. My god. Oh, wow. So this is just really waiting on more people. We should already be having migrations because we already built it up. And we're just colonizing it with more and more Flemish. I love it. Popular wine. Brooklyn, I think, is in a similar boat. God, look at that profitability. 500K. No wonder the Suez Canal Company has such high profitability. Well, earlier at least, when I was checking the company list. How it is actually at almost 2 million. Some of these trade centers are doing very well. Wait, I'm supposed to tax people? Yeah, you are actually supposed to tax people. Who would have guessed? Not me. I never would have realized that. Not in my thousands and thousands of hours would I have ever made that connection. Try to get rid of the last of our peasants here. That way the mainland at least doesn't have peasants, just unemployed people who refuse to work. Because that's the language we're going to use here. We're going to say that they don't want to work, when the reality is probably the wage they're being offered is terrible and they don't want to do it. Is the guess. I really don't know. Oh yeah, we can probably switch these over. Well, the ones that are connected at least. The ones in the treaty ports probably don't have it. And they probably never will. I love all the red here. You just see it's like 32 productivity, and the game's like, this is terrible relative to your average. Yeah, it is basically an exporter of oil now. It's fantastic. It's not even fully hired at this point, so it needs people to migrate here. Which we could help encourage further, although I think it's limited more so by its infrastructure scale. Oh my god, this just doesn't end. Well, the good news is that this time we can just directly invade Russia. We literally have a treaty port in its capital, so there's nothing it can do. Oh! And they're actually looking to retake land. Okay. God, I'd take Finland if it wasn't so sad. Croatia? Not really. I mean, none of those really screamed to me as valuable. Humiliating Russia could be fun, just for the fun of it. We could technically get more treaty ports. I don't think more than one treaty port really does anything for you. I'm technically unaware if it does. But I don't see why it would do more to help out except just giving you another area with pops, which, yeah, that does help. I would love a treaty port in Rostov just because I think that'd be very fitting. You know what? We'll keep up the treaty port shenanigan just because I can't think of anything better. And I'm gonna do it in Rostov. That's my decision. That part you cannot take from me. Technically, I could decide all of it, and you just have to live with it. Russia may actually back down here. No, they're actually very cocky. Oh, because the Heavenly Kingdom is in bankruptcy. Oh, yeah, they declared bankruptcy 5 years ago. I didn't even notice. Interesting. All right. I guess we try to send someone over to help them then. Because apparently they're going to need it. Although it's just North Jillian. If they lose that, it's whatever. But it'd be funny to see a larger China at the expense of Russia. Better than one treaty port is 2 treaty ports. Well, you're not wrong there. I cannot discredit or deny that. Oh, there's so many coups going on in the background. The game is not having fun with its performance either. It's really starting to get upset. We also now own 625 million GDP in the world in foreign countries. We actually own almost half of the GDP in the Heavenly Kingdom now. We own 60% in the Confederacy. That's terrifying. I love it. Where's the Navy? I need the Navy. Navy, come back. They're trying to invade us. Bring someone home. I don't want to be invaded. Anyone. I don't care who you bring. Just someone that can defend us. They're planning multiple naval invasions now. Although, our troops will get home in time. It'll be fine. Needs to be the Rhine HQ, though. There we go. Yeah, open market in China, which we actually... Technically, we don't want, because if they open the market, then that means a bunch of nations can trade with China, and China can build the treaty, build its own trade centers. Whereas right now, all of China's trade... Almost all of China's trade has to go through our treaty port in Nantong. So we basically have almost fully exclusive trade rights with China. Also, yeah, they should be like 144k less. They just don't want to pay them a wage. I'm having to pay them a wage. It's insane. I don't know why they do this. Oh, cool. Prussia exists. Because of the revolt from Scandinavia. That's funny. Okay, that's going to pretty much seal the war right there once Ingria falls, since that is their capital. 5,200 construction with a small country, and we have 4 million in reinvestment, even with our taxes and everything. Our standard of living has kind of fallen because we did raise taxes and more pops migrated here, and God knows what other fluctuations in the background that have probably affected wages. Technically, the rule folk could come into power. Not that the rule folk have anything good to offer us. I don't think you could even get a good bourgeoisie. Not really, no. I don't think I can get the trade union, can I? Oh, I can. Okay. Sweet. Because I'd like to install worker protections, because that would actually improve our standard of living. More art academies. They want us to go from 54 art academies to 791. Absolute insanity. They have no idea what they're asking for. There we go. Art. The art duck. I mean, art is already somewhat valuable, but it's not as... Actually, are we importing art? We are. We're importing art from across the world. Who needs to make your own art when you can just import it? Isn't that why we pay people to make art in foreign countries, so then we can import it electronically? Isn't that how that works? 50,000 trade in use. We're still... Ugh, so much trade. And yet the economy just cannot decide where it wants to go. It's not even my highest GDPC. We really need 650 more art academies. No, we do not. We do not need that many art academies. Or anywhere near that many art academies we don't need. I can't really expand our treaty ports any further because they're missing pops. Except Nantong. That is actually missing pops as well. Oh. Never mind then. Several treaty ports at several 100,000 weekly balance are really good, though. Yes, we're subsidizing their wages, but the fact remains they're making a good profit. Celebrations are in order. The reason why I want to pass worker protections is because it's going to act like wage subsidies. And it's going to give a 10% building wage target per level. So, maxed out, that should provide us a good amount. Keyword being should. I don't know if it actually will in the end. We're importing 52,000 oil, and several markets are exporting a lot of it now. You're at war with France? Why? What are you doing? Liberation wars. Okay, have fun with that. You do you, bud. You do you. Oh, God. The Confederacy just doesn't have people. Neither do the Germans in certain areas. Yeah, it's not much, but it's still some oil. It's a little bit of oil. I already built up Japan, right? Yeah. I know we're not really, I don't even think I had that as research, right? It just spread to us automatically, yeah. We're not really... Oh. There we go. I was gonna say, why is this so out of order? None of this is supposed to be like that. I will say art academies are in this very weird spot where they're not exactly useful because you can make a bunch of other different luxury goods that meet the same need anyway. But on the other hand, you can technically hard invest into it and make it work. It's just in this really weird spot in the game where there's no encouragement to make them at all. Nor is there any reason for you to make... Oh, God, there's only 24,000 people here. At least it shows a port, I guess. And look at that, the Heavenly Kingdom grows larger. And the Heavenly Kingdom is recognized. China is a great power. Which is definitely because they just won a war against a recognized power. It's kind of how that works. So they will probably form their own power block pretty soon now. Which is fine. How many great powers are up? The game crashed. Well, if this was a recording, I would just skip straight back to it, but you guys have to suffer for 5 minutes. I know we've been up here for 3 hours, but I would like to at least see what we were at right before it crashed. This is also one of the reasons why you'll see me stop playing by around 1920, because the game's stability does start to deteriorate. Which is, you know, unfortunate, but that's just how it is when you play. So how's everyone doing while we wait for the game to come back? Because it decided it was going to take a break on us, apparently. I would say this has gone very well overall. It's at least a good... I've said it before, it's a good, like, two-parter to show... a way to play Belgium and get really strong as Belgium while only taking a couple of states in Europe. Now we did take over the Netherlands mainland and by extension turn the Netherlands into a subject, but you're probably going to do that as Belgium in most of your runs, especially your larger runs. You're definitely going to do it a lot in those. Oh, good. Well, while we're waiting for it to load, I was just checking to see if Discord is actually registering that I'm streaming again, and it is, so that's good. Because for the last couple of months, it hadn't been registering at all, no matter what I did, and I just gave up. I guess it updated and fixed itself. There we go. We're back. Yeah, 951 million GDP. I wanna see us hit 1 billion GDP before this ends. I really want to try to hit it. At the very least, our unemployment is going down in some states. Not all states, just some states. Return state in Mexico. Oh, I see. So, they're going after the U.S. now. Well, hopefully they have fun with that. Oh, yeah, so we should be able to... Automated bakery in the food industries, which has crushed their value, apparently. Oh, yeah, because groceries are at minus 35% base price. What did you think was going to happen? Oh, of course they are, because you're suddenly producing a lot more now. Right, yeah, because you don't need those workers. I'm over here like, why is it suddenly producing more? Because it doesn't need the workers as much. It's going to fire people, obviously, but that's fine. We'll try and force some exports here to bring profitability back. At this point, we're going to just prioritize profitability over standard of living. Although better profits should bring better standard of living. Right, that's how it should work, at least. Or so I'm told. Yeah, I mean, they're not being exported too much. But it's almost 30k in exports, which is good. Maybe they can find a job elsewhere real quick. Oh, France is dying. So, yeah, France is just going to lose more territory then. Probably would have noticed that, but the crash made me disconnect temporarily on what was happening in our world. A trading port making 1 million weekly would be really nice, but we're kind of limited by the pops in one, and the other actually is kind of waiting to be expanded. 500,000. 500,000 Chinese pops working at a treaty port. It sounds so wrong. Someone should stop them. Oh, I let them strike by mistake. Ah, well, it's fine. Yeah, thankfully it's back. The poor stream was suffering. Oh, is that what's I'm checking it myself here. Yeah, okay. Just stopping to double check it. The October Convention. Oh, is it because they failed to pass migration controls and they couldn't do it? No, they did pass it. They did pass it, and then they broke their treaty with us anyway. I mean, we have investment rights in Japan. It's not like anything's changed from that. But I'd like to maintain our presence. We're almost at 1 billion GDP. Hi! The doggos come to say hello again. So they've definitely come up from their nap. Of laying around, so they're going to want to play soon. How you doing? How you doing, doggo? Okay. See, now I kind of want to go even further and see this treaty port reach a million, but it probably won't because it's hindered by its employment. And by whether the U.S. economy doesn't crash from the ongoing war it's in. But making it export 30,000 oil is pretty nice, especially with the trade advantage spiking the export profit by about 10 ducats roughly. Oh, that's really nice. As it fluctuates up and down, of course. Oh, it's so close. I will do the power block statue this time just to show you why I dislike it, because I don't know, I feel like that noise would probably just annoy people after a long period of time. Maybe I'm wrong and it doesn't really annoy you guys that much. Oh yeah, no, militarized police has been maxed out for a long time. It was just a carryover from dedicated police, which was already maxed out. So you can imagine that they're having their time. How much of their tax is this consumption tax? Honestly, not that much. It would still help them, but we keep fluctuating downward into negative territory now and then. If we didn't have it. I'm just not very partial to the power block statue for the Trade League, personally. Because I'm pretty sure infrastructure from population isn't as strong as it sounds. The loyalists aren't bad, but it's not something like the power block statue you get with the Sovereign Empire, which did 25% decree cost reduction. That would work super well here because we're using a decree in every state. That would be really good. What other ones are active right now? You're a trade league. What are all the power blocks, actually? There's a lot of power blocks. There's 10 of them. Military, cultural, well, at least the U.S. is being realistic. Yeah, the military treaty power block statue is kind of nice because you can conscript more of your pops there. So there's a military aspect to that one that you can actually utilize. Hey, there we go. We're making a lot of money now. Subsidies are going down. Well, until the next big fluctuation, I'm sure. We'll actually go ahead and stop taxing the consumption tax. I don't think it'll really raise anyone's standard of living, but, you know, they're paying us less money. Sometimes that's all that matters. Oh, this poor game. I say poor game as France is getting domed out of existence by the Germans again. They're going to lose Morocco, Oyo, French Senegal. Basically, they're African colonies while the mainland is put to the torch for a time. Definitely Kingdom's over 300 million GDP while still being on traditionalism. Oh, yes! They're actually about to pass agrarianism, so that means our investments are going to be a lot better. Because they're not going to have that 15% market access price impact issue for all of their coal and whatnot. That'll be nice. At least that way it'll reach the markets better. Although our treaty port here has been operating as if it has full connectivity the whole time, I think. Oh, no, not really? Is it still suffering a slight disconnection? I'm actually curious. In Nantong. What is the... Oh, it is 95 in Nantong. Really? Oh, right, unincorporated state. I thought it was hitting 100. My bad. I forgot about it being unincorporated causing problems. Oops. Yeah, it looks like they are set to pass it. That is going to probably see their GDP jump up a bit. It might help their standard of living too, but they have a lot of unemployed, so that's kind of hit or miss. It might not. I need more rubber. I still need more rubber. I don't even think all the plantations we built are hired to begin with, yeah. Some of them are fully hired, some of them are not. We actually should probably make it to where our pops can buy into those. A lot of those, actually, wow. Oh, right, they're all technically international, aren't they? So I need buildings and non-Dutch owners. Or really just do all levels so I can find it here. And I need to stop searching domestically as well. That's another issue. Okay, there we go. There we go. Now they can start buying up all of those rubber plantations if they please. They may just choose not to. We have over 100 million pops as well, and I'm pretty sure the vast super majority of them are just right here in the homeland. Yeah. Yeah, they are. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. Taking 100 coal mines from France and turning it into our own is so funny, though. It's definitely good for us and bad for them. We still consume the groceries way more than we export them, at least. And we're importing 40,000 grain now, with the main exporter being Taiping. Honestly, we're probably nearing the end of the game, so at this point, just kick it into overdrive. Import as much grain as you can. I want to see what happens. Just take my money, and I want to see what happens. You know? Same with the automobile. Just export it. Let's just see what happens. No, we're going to keep using the steam donkey. I would prefer to keep the automation active because it is more profitable in the long run for them instead of having to pay the really high wage they are now paying in the coal mines. The average worker there is affluent, actually. Wow. Okay. Fishing wharfs. Rail log... Oh, yeah, the rail log camps. Flash freeze. Which I don't know if it's going to help them much, but it's something we can do. No, I wouldn't really say the extra coal is worth it, because when you're doing the steam donkey in the other mines, it will use coal. In the coal mine, it just takes the coal away from its production because technically it's using the coal for that steam donkey. That's why it takes it away instead of adds a input cost to it, because it can't do that. It's already doing an output of the exact same resource. Oh, several civil wars in France. How neat. And they're antagonistic. I'm sure it's fine. It's probably fine. Plus, we're getting to a point where our unemployment is actually pretty low now relative to our total population, so it's better to have the automation active anyway. Even though it might not lead to anywhere. Speaking of which, I should probably be using it in these logging camps. Which will at least increase the demand for coal, if nothing else. So that'll be good. Huh. Laborers are now the 5th largest group in the country. The 5th largest. That's kind of low if you ask me. So who are we going to war with? Civil War, got it. Well, I wasn't really sure where we were going with this, you say. Tuscany back down. Eh. Poor Tuscany. So have they passed it? Yes, they have universal suffrage and agrarianism. Cool. Yeah, their productivity in places like coal mines are starting to get over 10 now, so... China, I should say, is definitely doing better. than it was earlier. We make it export so much coal and grain. I don't think we can even do state atheism. We don't really have the setup for that. Especially because the Catholic Church is in... Oh, I may have accidentally put the fascists in power without realizing. Uh-oh. I'm sure it's fine. What could happen? Nothing's gonna go wrong. 331 arms industries. Why does it get so insanely high? Oh my god. Playing China with extra steps? Yeah, that's kind of a way to look at it. In this case, I'm doing pretty badly on the GDP. Oh god, we own over 700 million GDP now, combined with our actual GDP. It's a little nutty. Our standard of living has been stalling for a good while. And I'm sure it's thanks to all the unemployed pops, but also just whatever's going on with the hiring-firing situation. I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend to understand it. Because I genuinely don't. I'm just trying to get us more rubber on the world stage. Honestly, I could probably set up an import subsidy for rubber as well. There we go. So, now that the building target wage has just been increased by 50, you're going to see this grow up a little bit. Immediately, it jumps up. I keep showing this off because I feel like it's always good for people to learn. And I'm hoping that this might finally fix our wage issue. I don't think it will, though, because I'm watching the wages go down, which tells me pops are getting fired from their jobs. Yeah, in fact, it looks like the businesses may have fired a bunch of pops again. Because we have more... Actually, it could also be the migration. It could be the 32,000 people showing up in Holland. Yeah. Oh. The Indochina campaign. I didn't even think we'd get this. Against Cambodia. That's kind of funny. I guess we're going to Cambodia then. Not that I planned on it. Instead of treaty port time, it's subject time, because that's what the journal entry requires. There's also a Russian uprising in the Heavenly Kingdom. They're almost out of their bankruptcy, at least. It looks like they don't have more debt going on either, so that's good. Very good. Her leverage is still awful. What is France doing now? France just cannot help themselves. The second it starts in one, I don't know why. Oh, yeah, so this is, for the Netherlands, right? Weird. Very weird. Anyway. Sorry, that caught my eye for a minute. Did we just take French Niger, maybe? I mean, it's not very valuable. It would just be to punish them for the sake of punishing them. Wouldn't really do anything for us in the long run, to be fair. Could also seize the Congo. Actually, is there oil? Are you harvesting oil here? You are, but you have no pops. God, that's awful. Okay. Do this. Because the funny thing, chat, that you may have just seen is that if you do a war goal for your subject when you are a secondary participant in a war, you can then lay down another secondary goal. So you can end up doing several secondary goals instead of just one. This is basically cheating. We also just got the NCO, so considering that text spread to us, that means someone else has squad infantry. And that's a little scary to think about. I'm guessing it's the British have squad infantry, because that's the only ones I can think of that would have it. But I have no idea. Right? Do it because oil. Oh, I did Benin in the end. That's fine. I need a coastline anyway. I just watched our GDP fluctuate by 30 million. Like, I don't know what's going on the countryside, but they're doing some weird things. I'm telling you that. Just treat them. I wonder, is it because we're such a small country and it's just going weird? I genuinely have no idea. I'm actually baffled. Or is it the trade centers have such high productivity that it's causing the buildings to think they can't be profitable? I wonder, is it that? Is it because they're all constantly in the red for productivity and they think they can't do it because the trade centers are so high in productivity and it's just kind of breaking them? I don't know. That would probably be a good thing to test. I could see it having some ramifications at least. But it's weird that we keep going just below a billion in GDP and then fall back down. It is also funny how we're basically taking all of China's rice, their grain. We've actually caused grain prices in China to get hit 35% because of all the exports. Very funny. Oh, I thought I could do 100 at a time. I cannot. 300 it is. It really is just China with extra steps at that point. As mentioned earlier. Yeah, there's no chance for France to win this to begin with, but now that we have siege artillery and squad infantry, it's just even more so. It's too one-sided. France just kind of dies. There it is! I guess the billionaire achievement must have popped at some point too, and I didn't notice it, but there it is. We got a billion GDP. As Belgium, with our direct territories only being 6 in Europe and a bunch of treaty ports with 2 canals. Now, we do have a bit of a market, of course, because of colonies, subjects, and a member state or two. Oh god, their GDP is collapsing. But I'd say it's still a good step. Russia's got the 3rd largest GDP. I mean, yeah, they're not on traditionalism anymore and all that, so that makes sense, but I'm still surprised. It doesn't change how surprised I am. Most of China's pop still being peasants kind of sucks. Let's go ahead and wrap up this war first. We're in 1926. But the performance is also degrading cripplingly, as you can tell. Because I'm noticing how much longer it's taking to get through a week just now compared to before. I'm actually surprised that Siam managed to... Oh, never mind. They are a British protectorate. I was going to say, I'm shocked that they're not dead or worse or maimed. Because that usually happens. And well... They're a protectorate, so I guess it really didn't change much, did it? That it did not. Oh, someone already has military aviation. Probably the British, but I wouldn't know. Because I don't know who has it. Could technically be the French. As unlikely as that might sound. So much GDP ownership. 1.64% are now capitalists. There's almost more capitalists than there are soldiers. How amusing. You can tell it's taking time just to process through everything, because this war feels like it's taking time, even though we're pushing just fine. What about this? Oh, yeah, most of them are built at least. It's going to add several thousand more grain, so we can actually export that grain to the world market, then buy it for ourselves. Wow, 200k in tool profit. We're not even subventioning that one. We are doing... What's that? How much subvention are you getting? Technically, this treaty port is not getting any. Oh, a communist. Sure. Grant the communist freedom. Just for fun. I mean, it's technically profitable, but not for the reasons you would think. 107k from grain because of the constant exports. Then this is technically profitable because, again, the grain prices. 900... Oh, 900k. There is domestic trade potential here. It says that there's, like, several thousand. And I need to see, like, which one of the trade centers is suffering to where it's not utilizing it, or is the game lying to me? Is the game lying to me? Oh, it's the treaty port. It's the treaty port. Oh, no, did it break? Frozen due to an outbreak of war between the seniorities. Oh, right. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. I'm sitting here like, what do you mean I've got thousands of trade potential? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, that makes sense that they don't get the subventions from a foreign country either. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out for a bit because I didn't realize. Half the time when I do treaty ports, it's usually in China, and then China has the Heavenly Kingdom Revolt and it breaks. So the fact we got it after the Taiping Rebellion was very good and much needed. In that case, I've learned that we have a lot of capacity potential that I didn't realize because I was misreading the situation. Although it remains to be seen whether they actually take good advantage of that. And that should actually help this go up because the global price should increase, although it's going to fluctuate as always. The export rate is so high. So they're going to be forced to be humiliated again. Which is cute. You just can't stop humiliating the French. You just can't stop. Although trade should stabilize once again once they are no longer at war with us. I do think it's kind of neat that the treaty port is temporarily suspended while at war, because it makes sense. You can't really trade when everyone's shooting at each other. It's kind of difficult. Kind of also means going to war with someone who all your trade focuses through might not be a particularly good idea in the long run. Just noting. It'll help Egypt find out what radios are. I guess. We can be a little nice to them. Not that I want to. And the French are humiliated successfully. Fantastic. So, this is going to take time to recover, but it will eventually recover. Half the casualties are suffered and run. Make sure the treaty port in China stayed up and running. No kidding. The several interventionist wars we fought in China to keep the current Chinese government in power so we could keep trading is insane. Literally, men of Belgium and the Netherlands dying to keep the treaty port functional. Not to protect the homeland, but to protect the treaty port. Nantong does not have that much potential right now, so it just needs domestic economic investments instead. I have noticed that at some point, trade capacity starts only moving up so much per week. Like about 1 to 200 points, no matter how many of them you've built, no matter how many weekly trades it can actually do, which is probably to prevent it from excessively fluctuating and never working right. Otherwise, it would probably crack on itself at some point, and that wouldn't be good. I'm watching its productivity go down now. The war ending in France was bad for business, I guess. Won't anyone think of the trade center? No, I don't think it's the most urbanized state. Actually, it might be. Hang on, actually, it might be, despite our investments elsewhere. Yeah, no. The treaty port in Nantong is a level 70 urban center, and that does seem to be the largest. It has no electricity, but we're not going to grant them that. France couldn't fight a war against us, so they're fighting a war against the Germans and the Scandinavians instead. I'm sure that's going to go very well. In fact, I think it will go fantastically well for them. I can't see why it would go wrong at all. No, sir, not at all. Our subventions are 3 million and the biggest amount is for grain. Our welfare payments are at 500,000 now because our businesses just won't hire pops because they think their productivity is too low. And in some cases, pops are just demanding a higher wage. This is a very interesting situation we've found ourselves in. Like, it thinks it needs higher productivity. Its productivity is almost at 60. And it still thinks it needs higher productivity to compete. If I give them electricity. I mean, they might like me, yeah. But what have they ever done for me? What have the Han ever done for my falling weekly balance in that trade center? It is funny that our biggest exports are now oil and grain. One is something you can eat, the other not so much. Although it does mean we've kind of made grain prices really high and therefore made them very reliant on groceries. Which I don't see a problem with, it's just amusing. Although the grain prices got a bit too high because of the disconnection with the trains railway system there, so hopefully that'll get fixed. Senegal joins the power block. You know what? Sure, why not? Jiangxi has a lot of potential. I know we could build plantations here, but our game's almost over, so I'm just building up rice farms to see how high we can get the grain export instead. Depends what oil. Fair enough, fair enough. The kind you put into cars. And tanks. That kind of oil, so probably not that good. Mexican mass migration from Mexico. You know, reasonable, makes sense. No issues here. How is that treaty port in France doing now? It's doing a lot better now that the war's been over for a while. It's still hiring folks and getting back on track, but it's definitely doing a lot better. Even though France has started a new war with one of its neighbors that it probably can't win. But I don't think that's on our list of things that's a problem for us, so, you know. Oh well. They'll just have to deal with it. I think we're almost done here. We're not going to reach 1936 because that would probably take us up to another hour. But I am going to try to mess with the grain here a bit longer while we're in 1928. Presuming they still hire. And they should, given the price. And then once that railway is done in a few weeks, the grain price should come down further. And the hope here is that we'll just see the profitability of the grain export balloon from it. I know we're running on a big deficit from it all, too. That's okay. We're not intending to stick around before bankruptcy hits. And look, the people don't know bankruptcy's coming, so it's fine. They're just happy to have food to eat. Is that a cardinal as president of France? Is it? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it is. And he's an ethno-nationalist who wants to restore natural borders. Not that they've been able to win any wars against us, so that's never happening. There's so much turmoil and instability from them being an ethno-state. Arguably, the people in Toulon are safer under our stewardship than they are under the French. Because at least they're treated nicely. Not like how they... There it is! A treaty port making over 1 million ducats a week. Absolutely beautiful. With economic manipulation, mind you. We are incentivizing our trade centers to import a lot, and we're building a lot of basic grain farms in China to deflate the price of grain in China. Start putting olive oil in them. Right, we might have to start putting olive oil if we run out. The good news is that with the Confederacy in our market, their oil is just kind of reaching us directly. Which is good because we are going through a lot of oil. If we go over here, hide this. We have 157,000 buy orders for oil, and the biggest consumer of that is Glassworks. And most of our oil is imported. We could actually use it for power now, but I'm not really intending to do that. I just thought it would be funny to have. Technically, I could balance the budget by raising taxes again. But it's more likely we'll find our permanent stopping point of amusement as soon as these grain farms finish. I really want to let those finish at least and see what it looks like. I mean, plus, if we stop constructing, we save 1.4 million just immediately. And if we didn't have any of the interest rates, we'd probably be fine too. But that's always going to be there because someone's got to pay money. Oh, Tuscany has actually managed to successfully begin Italian unification. It only took them almost 100 years to do it, but Italian unification did technically occur in the end. Who are you warring for this? Germany. You're warring Germany for this. I mean, okay, if you really want to. Because of South Tyrol, I see. I see. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have so many trade centers that, yeah, we have an insane amount of influence. Even though we're spending 3,000 influence, I'd like to note. But we just have so much of it. I mean, yes, you're making a profit, even though I probably have to pay some of your wages, but at least they're making a profit, even though we're subventioning them. Siam is now persecuting Catholics. I see. This adventure is only going to continue until morale improves. There we go. Grain prices in the Chinese market are coming down, while our ownership of their GDP only increases. UA uprising in Portugal. Wait, what? We already have this, though. But we already have it. I'm so confused. What do you mean, game? I don't get it. Yeah, there we go. That's 557 rice farms. And that they're not even using any fertilization, which if they did would spike fertilizer prices really high there because they have like no fertilizer. I don't know, I'm kind of feeling like that trade center number right there is a thumbnail on its own. The 156K in grain exports because of the price difference. If only the trade advantage was higher, but it can't be higher because we're basically the exporter of grain from Nantong with nothing else. There's just no one else who can do it, so it's just kind of... It's just us. I wonder if anyone else built a skyscraper. I would expect Britain to at least build a skyscraper, but I don't see one. They haven't even built the Big Ben, so... Who knows if anyone else has gotten access to a skyscraper. The Eiffel Tower was built, though, so there is that. Maze of intrigue. Linguistic freedom. Right. The only issue is that you would need to encourage them to actually use fertilizer, which I'm not too sure how to encourage the AI to do that. So it could be a lost cause in that regard. You just may not be able to pull it off as well as you'd like to. And Nantong actually has export potential again. Export of tools, imports. I mean, it seems like you're trying to, but I don't know if you are. Still, I think this is a good stopping point. We've been at this for almost 4 hours, and I think this has been a very successful Belgium playthrough. Our company profitability is not the best, but all 6 of them are at 1 million or more per week. We have 1.08 billion GDP while owning another 811 million GDP across the board. Standard of living's at 27, which is not bad considering it's not really getting boosted at all. Our average standard of living modifier isn't even at 1. It is if you look at the upper strata, but if you look at the middle and lower strata, no effects. Aside from maybe premium food, and that's it. What's really funny is how we own over half of China's GDP, and they're at 362 million. And a lot of that is just, we built a bunch of rice farms to start harvesting all their food, shipping it all the way back to ourselves while making a big profit off of it for the Suez Canal Company. Technically the Premium Foods Company as well. But I assure you that the Canal Company is making its profit primarily through trade centers, as you can see from the dividend splits that are insane. In fact, the wage at the Suez Canal Company is 316 ducats. If this was not a company government dividend, it would probably have nothing but opulent people here. In fact, the bureaucrats are opulent, which is insane. In fact, the Suez Canal Company is providing 208,000 dividends to the government, which is actually a lot less than a lot of the other HQs we have, but yeah. Oh, wait, no, it is also providing dividend taxes, so it's technically providing over 400K if you think about it that way in tax revenue. It kind of went back and forth. It wasn't always the second largest. It kind of hobbled its way up there, but at the rate Germany's growing, Germany would likely outpace it and eventually exceed it. For a time, the Russians were actually up there at 363 million, but then they fell back down. Something happened, probably a war disruption or event. Maybe an interest group got upset with them, and it crashed right back down. We're also exporting almost 100,000 tools at this point. It's 42,000 iron import, 30K coal. All of our coal import is from China. We basically turned China into some kind of weird extraction economy. And it's barely been developed if you think about it. There's a lot more you could still do. Plus, making its peasants be non-peasants just means there's more demand for goods like groceries. Between our population, the machinists are the biggest, followed by clerics, shopkeepers, engineers, then, finally, laborers. Yet shopkeepers have the largest clout. The top 3 cultures are unsurprisingly ours. And then the next 2 are Spanish and French, with Ukrainian was actually right behind Spanish, so it could have actually ended up being Ukrainians in the end. We actually have the 4th largest population as well, behind China, India, and Russia. So that's very fun. You can't impose extraction economy onto China. They have to be a subject. The only way to get extraction economy is to be the subject of another country. Otherwise, you can't do it. They are passing poor laws, though, which worries me. I mean, 30 million people would stop being at starvation levels. China would also go bankrupt, but I guess that's not important. Yeah, because they're actively losing their standard of living even as we speak. And they're destitute, so their demand is at the absolute lowest level it can be. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you had a wonderful time. Thank you for coming along, and I will see you next time.